Everybody, episode of Nobody Else's Auto. It is Sunday evening, 7 o'clock, time for some Sunday night live chat. Looks like we got a good crowd already on YouTube. Ryan and Amy are here. Jim's on with us. Norma's here. Bill Wagaman, Tony Napoli, Lee from New York's here. Looks like we are getting connected on Facebook as well. As always, we are live on two formats this evening, both YouTube and Facebook. As you see me glancing back and forth between comments, that's what I'm watching. That's what I'm keeping up with. So, glad a lot of you guys made it back tonight. Still amazed that you keep coming back and hanging out with us, but still glad that you do. Excuse me. Looks like things are connecting on Facebook finally as well. So, anyway, hope everybody had a good week. Been a lot going on for me, obviously, with the swap meet and everything going on this week. So, I was swamped and it was a little bit crazy, to say the least. But anyway, before we get too deep into anything, as always, we'll catch up with a little housekeeping. Throw a share out there. Let your friends know that we're on. Dad's on with us. Please double check your comment before you hit send. If autocorrect changes something and I can't make it out, I will have to skip your comment. So please double check your message before you hit send in case autocorrect changed it to something super wonky that I can't understand. Alex is here. Jeff from Canada is on with us. If you were on the Nobody's Show Facebook page, I cannot see those comments. This is a shared video from the Nobody Else's Auto page. You'll need to be on the Nobody Else's Auto Facebook page or the Nobody Show YouTube channel to comment, participate in the auctions, etc., etc. So please bear that in mind if you're on the Nobody Show Facebook page. If you just want to hang out, watch, you're perfectly fine over there. Pete's here with us. Joe's on. Trolls, obviously, as always, I ignore the trolls. They want my attention because they don't get enough from mommy, so they're up here trying to stir up problems in our chat. You guys do a great job of taking care of that for me and running them off and making sure they know they're not welcome. Big Job's on with us. Super chats are cool. It still amazes me some of you guys think enough of what we're doing to throw some super chats out there. Always appreciated. Got a full episode built again tonight, as usual. Bill Disk is here. Starting off with some open chat, then we'll get into the promo model, some badges, some emblems. Auction boxes are restocked. Got a super cool magazine tonight. Actually, the magazine tonight is so epic. Back to a full size. We've still got a few of the mini mags from the last viewer box, but I don't want to do those every week, so we can kind of mix them up. So we've got a full size magazine tonight, and I actually had to quit a few pages before the halfway point. The coolness factor was so high up there, I didn't know if we could take it all in one night. So there's some really neat stuff in tonight's magazine. Can't wait to share that with you guys when we get to that point as well. So, anyway, Tony can't wait to see what we got. So, yep. So we'll go ahead and get rolling into. We got the Wichita swap meet to talk about. We saw some of you there. One little tidbit I do want to mention to you guys. I ran into something on eBay this week that I haven't run into before. If you guys are selling anything on eBay, this is just a bit of advice. I ran into a guy that I shipped a part to, and it arrived. However, there was a glitch in the tracking between feeding from FedEx to eBay, and it showed it was not delivered. So what that allowed him to do is leave negative feedback and file a claim against me, even though he had the part. Now, I called eBay, and they're going to get it straightened out because they show it delivered. But he opened up a case to try to get his money back and keep the part on something that was delivered. So if that ever happens to you guys, and the tracking is not showing up through eBay, go to the carrier and double check it so that you can cover yourself and make sure you don't run into that. Because I was fighting with that this week and I hadn't run into that before, but there was a glitch between that feed between FedEx and eBay on the feed. And since it didn't pop up in eBay, it allowed him to do that and try to steal it. So anyway, just something to bear in mind in case you guys ever run into that. Let's see. Tweedly D's here. Rico and Jess are on. Shopcat made it. Nate's on. Dennis is here. That's right, Nate. I was busy yesterday getting to the Wichita swap meet Friday and Saturday. We were there both days, went down Thursday. Had a great time. Did get the opportunity to meet some of you. Kevin L. stopped by, hung out with John, talked to him a little bit, even got John on the video. Of course, like we said, Rico and Jess was there. If you saw the video from Friday night, Jess went around and did some of that with us as well. So I actually had a good crowd at the swap meet. I've sold more stuff at the swap meet this Friday than I have in the last couple of years combined, I think. A lot of things happening there. A lot of people carrying stuff around. I think there were a lot of happy sellers and buyers there this weekend. Let's see. Numero Uno is here. Let's see. Bill Disk. Anybody in the Virginia area, check out the Keystone Truck and Tractor Museum. Sounds cool. Eric's on with us. Alex on with us on Facebook. Scott's here for a little bit. Going to have his birthday cake. Well, have a great birthday, Scott. Glad you stopped by for a little bit. So, lots of things. I thought the Wichita Swap Meet went very well. There were a lot of empty spaces, and I talked to John, the guy that owns that deal and puts it together, and they ran into a lot of cancellations just this last week, and it was too late to get them filled. So, but they're already starting to plan for next year. So bear that in mind. I don't remember exactly what the dates are. I'd have to look and see, or I don't know what I did with my receipt, but I went and paid for my spaces. But everything is on for again next year, sometime in March. So you'll want to definitely put that on your calendar if you're anywhere in the Midwest to try to catch the Wichita, Kansas Sunflower Swap Meet for charity next year. I didn't find any side pipes or popsicle signs, so nothing there. Frank's here with us. Sam's on Facebook. But I did buy some cool stuff. I sold a lot of stuff. I did buy some cool stuff that, one, I got a bunch of cool auction stuff. I got some really, really neat, really interesting plates. I got, and none of this is in the truck yet. It's even out of the truck yet. Big box of oil cans. Probably 50 or 60 oil cans, almost all old steel quartz, old original painted steel quartz. So really excited. I looked through some of that box, but I didn't dig through the entire box. So I know there's going to be some great auction pieces in there and a bunch of really nice $20, $30, $40 cans. Great stuff for a lot of your guys' collections. So let's see. Carol's on instead of Dispatch Brian. She's got her update on him. He's had a rough couple days and sleeping right now. So, well, I'm glad you stopped by to say hi, Carol, and keep us updated on Brian Dispatch. That everybody keep thinking about him. He's had a rough couple days, but hopefully he keeps pulling through. So, Alex started working on his Mustang today. That's good. Always good to get back on projects. Any Pontiac Chief badges? I don't think I bought any Pontiac badges with the Indian Chief on them. I'll have to look and see. A lot of that stuff got toted up. I don't even remember a lot of the details. So, but I did get some cool stuff. If you saw the video, Jess and I did pick out a handful of horn buttons at John's booth. So those will be working their way into the auction boxes. Like I said, I don't have anything in here really. There was a couple caps that Addie got. That's all that's in here from the Wichita Swap Meet because we haven't even started dumping stuff out of here yet. Ozark Fox been a few years since he's been to Wichita. We'll put it on your calendar for next year. It was pretty decent this time. I was really surprised the amount of traffic and the amount of people that were buying and selling and toting stuff out of there. So, but like I said, oil cans, the horn buttons, a few more badges, a few more early, pre-war badges that we all love. So I've actually, between the trip to Missouri and the Wichita Swap Meet, I've got a whole bunch of badges that are duplicates for me that I'm going to be selling to you. So a few of these pieces are a little more money. So there's a few of these pieces that will have a minimum on them, but they're going to be well worth it for what they are. But there's some really cool stuff that I picked up at the Swap Meet this weekend. Some more little tiny hubcap grease caps. Like I said, it's a few promos. So a little bit of everything kind of, except toys. I only got one good toy, and that's one that we're keeping. So I really didn't get a lot of toys for the auction, but a really broad assortment of everything else and a lot of cool stuff. So Leo's hanging out with us while he's working on the transmission leak on his Nova. I'm glad you're here. John's here with us. Glad you made it, John. And John was on the video with us Friday night. He was hanging out at the Swap Meet. So if you missed the Swap Meet video Friday night, the sights and sounds of the Wichita Swap Meet that Jess and I did, John hung out with us on there for a while, stopped by Tom and Floyd's booth, some license plate guys that I know pretty well, good dudes, and wanted to do some more footage with those guys as well, some more footage with Jim Wicks, and my phone went wonky on me, so my data is all screwed up. It won't upload to the cloud. I've got a iPhone 14 Pro that's 5 months old, and it's been causing me fits, so... but yeah, John was on that video. Be sure to check that out. And hey, maybe there's something on that video you need to buy from John. You never know. There may be something in his booth that you saw that you may want to snag. So, but glad John's on with us. Number one wants to do a pedal car for October or November, or maybe a sled for December. Charles stopped by tonight. Glad you're hanging out with us, Charles. Glad you made it by tonight for a while. Alec got the big raffle box yesterday, and he said he was excited to fill with awesome stuff. The diecast Corvette, and his 3-year-old son loves the old school Matchbox cars. So glad you enjoyed it, Alec. Glad you liked it. The other two haven't gone out yet because I just ran out of time before I left for the swap meet. But I did get the big box out, and then the other two, Mark and Johnny Z, those will go out this week. Just because I just flat ran out of time getting stuff done. Plus, we've got some address issues on a few of the auction items as well. We'll touch in on a little bit of that as we get to when we get to the auction stuff. Nope, Leo Gray Kitty was not in the box because she's right over there. Anyway, glad you liked it, Alec. I tried to get a good mixture in all of those boxes, so I'm glad that I'm glad your son thought it was cool too. So that's the whole purpose, especially when we do those raffle boxes or those grab boxes. That's why I always try to get a good mixture of all kinds of cool, funky stuff in there that I hope you guys like and enjoy. So Wichita Swap Meet always in March? Yes, typically it has been. It used to be in January, and then they lost the date. It was always I think it was the second weekend in January for decades, and then they lost the date, and then it got bumped back a little bit. So it's been March for the last 4 or 5 years for sure. And I would imagine at this point probably going to stay there. So, but anyway, that's obviously what the bulk of my week consisted of. Like I said, a lot of you stopped, or a lot of you said hi as you were walking by. A lot of you didn't stop and visit, and a lot of times I was pretty busy. So, but I'm glad a lot of you did say hi. You walked by. Kevin stopped by. Kevin L stopped by when we weren't too swamped and said hi for a minute. But I know a lot of you did swing by and say hi as you went by, and I always appreciate that. And glad a lot of you guys made it out to the swap meet. Like I said, I got to get to work and get the truck unloaded and go through what all I got. But I know I got a lot of decent stuff, and I know there's going to be a lot of cool stuff that's going to go right back into these auction boxes for you guys here over the coming weeks. So anyway, Bill Wagon was putting a kitty in the box. Shopcat spent $700 on Lawson yesterday because he was acting sick. Huh. Well, hopefully everything's going there good there. But anyway, that was pretty much the bulk of my week. Obviously, between finishing getting things done, loaded, getting to Wichita, getting unloaded, getting set up. I was extremely busy with that. I did get a few cars picked up earlier in this week. And then I got to get back to work again here this coming week. I've got to run down to ACD here sometime this week as well. So you guys know what that means. There's going to be some more cool content coming from the Auburn Core Duesenberg Company in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma here. Whenever I can get down there, I'm working with Doug trying to get something scheduled to get headed that direction and get some more cool content shot down there because Doug found another car. So not quite as cool as the Duesenberg, but still a pretty cool, pretty interesting car. Bill said he picked up the book about Glenn Prey. Glad you got that, Bill. I'm sure you'll enjoy that. It's a pretty interesting read. And if you guys haven't grabbed that book, be sure to get it. You can order it off of their website, off the ACD website. And maybe you can, because the story is just so great. The guy was a school teacher with no money and bought the car company, the parts, the drawings, the inventory, the names, the trademarks, and everything on a borrowed $20 bill. So it's it's a cool story. Pete, John asked, did you sell that GMC horn button? It was still there last time I left. Last time I went by John's booth, Pete, that GMC horn button was still there. So, man, my neck is tight. So, looking forward to getting back down there and doing some stuff with Doug and Adam. And like I said, You know, when we do that, there's going to be some cool stuff coming. Anyway, that's about what I've got. Obviously, my week pretty much consisted of the Wichita Swap Meet. So glad that I got a chance to see some of you guys there, and glad some of you made it. And we got to hang out with Rico and Jess, even though Jess is kind of, like we said in the video, kind of a pesky little sister sometimes. But that's all right. We love her anyway. How about a promo model? Let's get a promo model. Let's check out some cool badges. Joe's Classics is here. But badges and emblems tonight are kind of different because they're actually, one's pre-war, one's post-war, but one's right before the war, one's right after the war. So they're within a 10-year window, kind of different. We haven't had that run into that before. Randy's on with us. So glad you made it. Just picked up a whole bunch of VW parts. Well, at least you made it, Joe. Joe's Classics. Traffic was bad, but that's okay. We're just getting rolling. So anyway, yep, I thought John still had that GMC button. So anyway, we'll start working our way towards the promo model. Then we'll catch these badges and emblems, and then we're going to get into the auction stuff. And like I said, tonight's magazine is just off the rails. Just crazy how much cool stuff is in it. But for tonight's promo model, this is a cool car. I like it. I think it's kind of neat. And it's definitely a sharp car. And it's not one that we see a lot of or think about a lot of. Even though it is a Ford product, it's kind of a year that doesn't quite get the attention that some of the other years do. You know, 64 Galaxy is a pretty sharp car, 63 and a half with the fastback roof. A lot of that type of stuff is what you see. So, but what we got tonight is a little bit different. This is the 1962 Galaxy two-door hardtop. Red on red. John's on with us on Facebook. 86 C10 radiator and grill and headlights and hardware. I don't know if I've got an 86 that's got a whole nose in it or not. I don't remember. Just about do need a full-time vehicle picker-upper. I've got 40-something to get, so just about. Pete's digging it. This car is really in pretty good shape. Front end's all still intact. Nothing's chipped up front here. Still has both fender ornaments on it, actually. All original tires and wheels and hubcaps. The back of this one also still intact. Ends aren't chipped off the bumpers. Lenses are still there. Eloy made it. Was the 500 or the custom a different roofline or just chrome sail panel delete? I think just that they just didn't have this chrome sail panel. I think it was the same roofline. John's digging it on Facebook as well. Chris everybody likes this thing. Didn't you sell that chrome piece on the roof post a few shows ago? That was a retract one. It does go in the same area, but this one is just a chrome band. The emblem is actually above it. The one we sold a few weeks ago goes right there, but it was actually for a retract and said Skyliner on it for a 57, 58, or 59 retract. So that was the one that we sold on the auctions. Now, this being a Ford from the 60s, this is one that has all of the information on the bottom of it. You're right, Bill. You were right on the same lines, though. But these are obviously, like a lot of these Fords, they have all this information on the bottom of them. Obviously, these were a promotional model, a promotional piece. Wanted everybody to know what was great about them and try to get them to come in and buy a Ford. So, what's it say about it? Adjusts its own brakes automatically. Wide contoured safety frame protects all passengers. That's where it shows this safety. They call it the safety frame. Went all the way out of the to the outside edge of the car to protect the passengers. Goes 30,000 miles between lubrication of chassis, front wheel bearings, universal joints. Galaxy, silent as a secret. 119-inch wheelbase. Galaxy by Ford, enduring elegance with the power to, and that got a little bit blurry when they cast that one in. Galvanized rocker panels beneath the doors. And some of this is a little bit tough to read, but it even has fully aluminized on the mufflers, wide tread design on the rear axle assembly. I mean, it's got stuff. I mean, they got stuff everywhere on this thing. This did have a two-toned interior, if you can see. I don't know if it was silver or white. I'm guessing they were probably silver. It's kind of dusty in there. I didn't take it apart to clean it. I'm guessing silver for the simple fact that the rockers were painted silver, the rear shield was painted silver, and they've also did the C-pillar trim in silver. So I'm guessing if they were using silver to put trim on this, they probably used silver on the seats as well. Now, if we look real close, I don't know if you guys can make it out. We do see the Ford Thunderbird, the Ford Spread Eagle bird badge here that they use for engine size. So you can't really make out what it says on it. So we're going to call it a 406 just because it's way cooler to call it a 406. Probably 390, but it's cooler to call it 406. So we'll say it's a 406 62 Galaxy. Lance is here with us on Facebook. Alec digs it. Now that the Thunderbolt scoop didn't come out till 64. That was a couple years later. So I don't know if any of the 63s use that scoop or not. I don't think they use that scoop in 62 at all. But obviously still has a pretty good shine to it. Nice colors, good looking promo. So, on to badges and emblems. Looks like some of you guys are familiar with 62 Fords as well. But as always, we'll start off with a pre-war badge and then work our way to a post-war. And like I said, these are both within 10 years, so we're cutting that line pretty thin tonight. That's right, Shopcat. Selling a new car where lubricating the chassis was a selling point. You're right. It's kind of crazy to think about that. Good point, Bill. Everybody's getting a little dry. We kind of got rolling and forgot to give you some of these. Eloy got his package. Great. Glad you got it. And there's the Auburn badge. Thanks for bringing that up, Bill. I've forgotten about it. The first badge tonight, this thing is super cool. I love this one. Of course, Bill, I never forget those badges. Well, I'm glad you don't, because I keep them sat right here so I can see them, but I'm basically spending most of my time looking at you guys unless I'm reaching over here to grab something. So maybe I need to put them like right over here, then I won't miss them. But the first badge tonight, Shopcat saw Hudson sign on Bad Chad yesterday, but I don't think anyone drank. That's all right. We'll give you another one anyway. We'll make up for it. But like a lot of you guys know, I grew up on Buicks. I cut my teeth on Buicks. So Buick badges, emblems, ornaments are some of my favorites, besides the fact that Buick had just some beautiful, colorful badges back in the day. And that's what we've got tonight. We've got the Buick crest that from the nose of a 1939 Buick. This thing is awesome. Check this out. I love the colors in these. I love the design. Like I said, this is what I grew up on. So finding these in beautiful condition like this, I'm always excited about them, and I always like them. This one does have a little bit of size to it. It is about almost 4.5 tall, just a little under. Yes, this is an enamel badge, Bill. This is a little under 4.5. This one obviously is in great condition. It almost looks like the red's a little bit thin right here, but I mean, other than that, it's not chipped, it's not broke. We've got all the blue in the stripe here. We've got the gold in the cross and the stag head. Nice chrome all the way around it. This is a slight V to it because it went right on the nose, right above the grills, and it did come to a peak on the nose of a 39 Buick. And had a piece of trim that ran through. This went over, so we can see the notch at the bottom and the notch at the top where it went over that molding. Obviously, stud mount, just two studs with nuts on them is what bolted this to the car. We can see how this was actually, the metal itself was embossed prior to the enameling to put this color into this piece. Was Buick the only making that interior color match throttle brake park? And that I don't know. I don't know that a lot of Buicks had color matched pads and knobs. So this is a great piece. And a lot of comments popping up about it as well. But obviously, when we look at these Buick pieces, you can see why, even if I hadn't cut my teeth on Buicks and didn't really like Buicks, you can see how beautiful these pieces are with the design and the color. But there again, back then, that's what you had. That's what identified your brand. That's what made your mark. That's what people recognized about your car. So that's right. Back when cars had detail. Nope, Eric, this one I'm not selling. But a super cool piece. The artwork definitely stands out. Billy Bowman's here with us tonight. So there's the nose emblem for the 1939 Buick. Now, we're going to jump forward to post-war, but just barely. Obviously, this is barely pre-war. We're going to jump to just right after the war, and we're going to move to the back of the car for this next piece. I know, Eric, you had to try. We do have some good badges tonight, though. Like I said, I told you guys I've come up with some 20 or 30 badges that are duplicates to me here over the Missouri trip and the swap meet and things like that. So we do have a couple of really great badges tonight, just to forewarn everybody. I've seen red and a 60. Okay, yeah, I do remember some of the 63, 64 did have color coordinated brake and gas pedals. I do remember that on the 60s era stuff, yeah. Well, like I said, we're going to move post-war to the back of the car to a Mopar piece for a Plymouth. And I almost think this is new old stock. I'm not sure. I got it, actually came in on trade-in. A guy picked up some stuff and brought me a bunch of boxes of parts to trade in on the stuff that he was getting. And this was in there. And I didn't look at it real close at the time. I kind of threw it in the box. I thought it looked cool. I was going to share it with you guys. But then I got to looking at it last night as I was building tonight's episode. I was like, well, I think this is actually new old stock. I'm not sure. We're a little too early for a Scat Pack badge number 1. I heard that GM came out with a small block V8, $843 million in research. They are developing a new gasoline engine. I did see that, Tweedledee. But this thing here, like I said, we're moving to the back of the car, and we're also moving companies to a Plymouth. This is the 1946 to 1948. Yes, it does have a sailboat on it. You're right there, number 1. Plymouth trunk ornament. This actually is a glass lens with the ship in it, and I think it was backlit, so this would actually light up. I don't know if you can see. I can see you through there or not. Alan's here with us. Bill's got his sunglasses on. The Plymouth is actually cast into the pot metal. This, like I said, is a glass separate piece with the ship cast into the glass. The back of this thing, like I said, I think it's new. I hadn't paid that close of attention to it until I started looking at it last night. I'm not so sure it isn't new. Now, one thing about these is this, you see this is marked sedan. Obviously, there was a different one for a coupe based off of the shape of the trunk lid. If you ever come across one of these 46 to 48 Plymouth trunk badges, you can tell which body style it is because they are identified on the back side of them. Benson's is digging it. Alex likes it. Everybody's digging this thing. Now, it's not small. Actually, I haven't decided what to do with this. I actually, believe it or not, number 1, this was in the auction box, but I'm not sure what I want to do with it now. Yep, that's Richard agrees that is a third brake light on Facebook. Facebook. But yeah, but back to the size-wise on this thing. Like Jeff said, it's not small, and no, it's not. It is 16 inches by 6. So it's 16 tip to tip, 6 inches tall. But like I said, this mounted right in the middle of the trunk lid. And obviously backlight it there and then light it up. Eric's trying to start us at 50. He's still trying. I don't know. I'm still on the fence with this one. I'm really on the fence. Like I said, this literally was in the auction box. Rico's a 55. And I just hadn't really decided what to do with it yet. But I knew we wanted to share it, so I thought, what the heck? Let's take a look at it, and everybody can check it out and see what they think. Eric at 60. I wasn't not even trying to sell it, and everybody's bidding, so I don't know what to do with it. It's so cool. I just don't know what to do, what I think I should do with it, whether I should sell it, whether I should keep it, or what we should do with it. Jim says, just get the timer out. Let's get going. Pete says I should sell it to him for 70. Rico says 70. Alex is at 75. We're getting close enough where you guys are going to make me start thinking about selling it. But it is a cool piece. And like I said, definitely made a statement on the back of the car. But that's what they had to do. Yeah, that's true, Randy. Where would you find another one? Because it is neat. And the fact that the glass is so cool. And that's another thing. There's no, even being on the back of the car, you would think you'd see some scratches or little rock pits in the glass. We really don't see it. There you can get a good look at how the detail in that ship. Yeah, no one says you better be. That's 100 to start. That's getting pretty close there. Jeff says if I don't have one, don't sell it. I know I don't have one this nice. Now that's what I think. I think it's new. Like I said, I didn't really pay that close of attention. This guy dropped off about 6 boxes of parts for some credit on what he was picking up, and I thought it looked cool, so I threw it in the auction box. But after I kind of polished it up a little bit and looked it over, I was like, Just says 110. Just says 110. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Are we supposed to? Should we sell it or not? Slip below. Yeah, hey, that's a good idea. Number one, put it right here. Put a light behind it that comes on when we go on when we're on the air. On air. I thought that was a great idea, actually, an on air light. I don't know. Just is it 110 or does it? So do we use it for an on air light or do we auction it? It's up to you guys. Chris, been wanting to ask any Ford or hardtop 62 to 64 Chevys. Yes, I've got actually all of them in Ford or hardtops, 2s, 3s, and 4s. So I've got all of them. I've got all of those in stock right now for parts, 62s, 3s, and 4 Ford or hardtops. Shopcat, if it were mine, I'd say it's been done, but it ain't mine. I'd come up with some Hot Rod Farmer graphics, the rear side of the box, not painted any more than necessary. Let's see. A little higher, but still under Heather. Everybody says use it for an on-air light. We'll have to see if I can figure out some way to do that. So I have to mount. I don't know. I'll have to. So I'd have to put it in some sort of a box or something, that would light it up. So if I could mount it like in a wooden box and put a little light in it or something, I'm not sure. Yep, perfect, Chris. Give me a shout tomorrow. Richard's at 120 on Facebook. So I don't know. This is kind of a conundrum. But use it for Gray Kitty's collar. It weighs as much as Gray Kitty does. Jess says 185. Jess and Richard on Facebook don't want you guys to let me use it for an on-air light. Use a little battery-powered lights. Oh, like a night light. Yep. Yeah, Jeff just bought a Plymouth truck badge. So I don't know. I'm still up in the air. Should we sell it or everybody's saying use it for an on-air light. No, I think it's well worth 185. I think it's well worth that. So I didn't anticipate this being this big of a project. I thought we would check it out. We'd talk about the car. We'd look at the badge. We'd look at the glass lens. And then we'd be on to the other stuff. And then all you guys got it into a conundrum. Denny's on with us on Facebook. So I don't know. Now I don't know what to do. A lot of people saying make it an on-air light. That's right. That's a good point, Joe. Eric started all this. Everything was going along fine until Eric started all this. So sleep on it. That's a good idea, Big Job. Maybe we'll throw it. Jeff just says keep it. So I don't know. We'll throw it here off to the side and we'll see what we end up doing here with it later. But regardless, obviously you guys liked all of the pieces tonight. The 39 Buick nose emblem, as well as the piece we all love, obviously, the 46 to 48 Plymouth trunk handle. Alex liking the light idea. Driver's side backup lens for a 57 Plymouth Plaza. I do not have any 57 Plymouths at all right now, Benson's. Jess says she needs it. She's begging for it. So should we let Jess have it or not for her car, or should we use it? What do you guys think? Jess says she needs it for her Plymouth. She needs to put it on her car. So what do you guys think we should do? No problem, Benson's. We're going to put it down. We'll keep moving forward, but Jess is begging for it for her car. So, Tweety D still says on-air light. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll put it down and we'll think about it a little bit. Benson says let Jess have it. Alex says give it to Jess. Sam's in a conundrum over here too. That's a tough one. So, I'll think about it. We'll see you guys think about it. If we sell it to Jess, because Jess obviously blew everybody out of the water, it's for her car. Joe says, fine, he'll take it. All right, well, let's keep moving forward. I'll think about it a little bit. And a lot of you want to do an on-air light in honor of Jason, and I understand that too. And Jess needs it for her car. So it's kind of a, what's the best way to do it? I don't know. Hudson badge. But anyway, since we've already basically started auctions, who's ready to do auctions? I didn't anticipate that getting quite so carried away. But we can go ahead and actually do some auction stuff now that we are going to sell. Stuff that I have specifically sitting here to sell. And that's right, Ozark. I've got a yard full of on-air lights. We can always pick something else out later on also if everybody decides to sell this to Jess. So even though she can be a pesky little sister sometimes. Yeah, I did say that in the video too. But we all love her, so. But anyway, how about we do some real auctions that are here to sell? We've got a little bit of everything tonight, except toys. I don't have toys tonight. I've got badges, emblems, caps, plates, hood ornaments, and a really great selection of stuff. And I'm the pesky older brother that she never had. So yeah, that's fine. Maybe that's why we get along. I was give her a knuckle sandwich the other day for being a little pest. But anyway. Let's go ahead and move forward with the auctions and get ready to roll on those next. As always with the auctions, we'll go over a few quick rules and details. just in a real quick here, like always, what we're going to do is I'm going to hold an item up, show it to you, give you the dimensions, look at condition, show you any damage. We'll look at the front, we'll look at the back. As we're describing the piece, if you're interested in it, go ahead and throw a bid out so that I know that there's some interest in it. After we get done with the description, looking it over, checking it out, we will put it on a 2-minute timer. Roger's here with us. As far as the timer, I just put it right here on my iPhone. I set the timer and I watch it. I will tell you when 1 minute has passed. I will tell you when 1:30 has passed. Now, as always, if you guys are new to us, there are always delays. So some people have a 5-second delay. Some people have a 30-second delay. That depends on your device, phone, tablet, PC, television, as well as your internet provider. So those things are what create your delay, but everybody has one. Now, to help eliminate that delay, you'll all want to refresh now and possibly even refresh a couple times throughout the auction to make sure you stay current. So please bear that in mind. Like I said, I'll tell you when 1 minute has passed and when 1 minute 30 seconds has passed. When I tell you that 1:30 is passed, it's time to be throwing your max bid out there, because I don't know what your delay is going to be until you figure your delay out. It's kind of tough. So as we're taking along, like right now, I'll tell you we're getting close to 1 minute, then the 1:30, so you guys have an idea of what we're looking at. But when I say 1:30, we're probably about done by the time you see that. So I will be watching it on my timer. You guys can keep an eye. As always, the first few items that we look at, I will announce all the bids as I see them, even if it's not the high bid, so people can kind of get an idea of where their delays are at. After that, I probably, if there's 4 bids come in, I will probably just read the highest one at that point. We'll give you an Auburn badge to think about it, though. Payment, check, money order, Western Union, or PayPal, friends and family only. If you have any questions, as always, my number is in the description part of these videos, both Facebook and YouTube. If you have any questions, give me a call tomorrow. If you see something you want to bid on and you're not sure about how to pay for it, go ahead and bid. Call me tomorrow. We'll get it figured out. No big deal. Please, when you do make payment, double check and make sure your address is on there. I've got some stuff that hung up from last year, or not last year, last week, due to address issues. Michael, let's see, Michael Glagola, I think I was missing an address on. Yeah, that was one of them. I was missing an address on Michael. And then Mark Falcon and John Anderson, I got your payments. Both were in the mail after I got home from the swap meet. So please bear that in mind. Please help me out if you can. I know a lot of you guys, I've had your addresses in the past, but there's some weeks I'm spending 20 or 30 minutes chasing old addresses, going back through PayPal, old payments, old envelopes, trying to find these addresses after the fact. Norma, I've got your plates here. I took them to the swap meet in case you made it. So I will get those out this week as well. But I did wrap them up and took them to the swap meet with me in case I saw you there. So those will be ready to go. Let's see. Non-U.S. bidders, if you want to play along, that's perfectly fine. Just please be aware that you will be responsible for getting me paid because of the expense on wire, foreign wires. You'd have to cover that as well as non-U.S. shipping. I think everything tonight, shipping will be included on. We don't have any big items tonight. So tonight, shipping will be included. So we will work. So that's the way it will be. If it's in the 48 states, shipping is included on everything for tonight. And when we get into some bigger stuff, obviously I will announce separate shipping on any of that. That being said, I think we're caught up. I think we're ready to roll. Hit refresh. Something to think about. You guys might want to go ahead and hit your refresh buttons so that we are ready to go and ready to get into the auction. So that's right, Tweely D. Another good point, Tweely D. I forgot. Whole numbers only. So bear that in mind. I don't care if you just bid $1. Just keep them round numbers so that I don't have to sit there and try to determine change as far as somebody bid 1052 versus 973, and I'm trying to sort all this out as things are scrolling. So please bear that in mind as well. Whole numbers only, please. No problem, Norma. Not a big deal. We'll get them on the way to you. But that's why I didn't ship them, because I wrapped them all up and took them with me in case I saw you. So Old School made it. It's his birthday as well. Glad you made it. So anyway, Hudson badge, Auburn badge, and let's go ahead and get rolling tonight. Where should we start? Let's start off with a license plate. Like I said, I have not really gotten into the swap meet stuff at all yet, other than a few caps that Addy has. We do got another batch of Addy caps tonight, as well as still some stuff I got from Tim, Mr. Good Pliers, when I went to Missouri a few weeks ago, when I stopped by his place. Some cool caps, some cool badges, and some super cool enamel badges, early enamel badges. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up. So let's go ahead and get rolling. Let's start off with a license plate. Man, you guys are gonna love these plates I found this weekend. They are so cool. They're not in here yet. They're still buried in the bag of the truck. But got some good stuff here. Let's start off with a license plate. This is another one in the bag. However, it is not the correct bag. I've only got one plate left that is in the correct bag, and we will get to it in a little bit. But what we've got now is, it comes with the envelope, but it is not the correct envelope. This is a 71 envelope, but the plate that is in it, and I like this color, this kind of minty green that Kansas used in 1970. It's kind of a light minty green. It's a standard size license plate. It is a truck plate. Actually, this is embossed in it. It was a farm plate, probably on a farm truck. Back of this one's beautiful. Paint looks great on it. We've got a little bit of a whammo down here at the bottom of it. We can see where it was screwed on. 3-digit 740 plate. You can see the truck stamped in the back of it here. Norma starting us off at 40. Norma is not messing around on this one. PL Truck 740 with the farm sticker, 1970 Kansas plate. So let's go ahead and get rolling. We've got this on the timer. Norma is not messing around. Norma may just blow everybody. Norma may just start blowing everybody out of the water to start with at that rate. So, but it is a cool color. It's kind of that minty green with the white letters on it, and the red sticker really pops against this 1970 Kansas plate. Getting my notes made. I do keep a ledger of all this stuff. So that's right, Ozark Fox. It is kind of minty because that's about what color it is. Some of you guys get, forget about something you bought, basically. I do keep a ledger of it. So you can always call me tomorrow and say, hey, what did I get? 2 pieces or 3 pieces? Taking along Norma at 40. Norma may have just wrapped this one up right out of the gate. We'll see if anybody else wants to mess with her, because we're hitting the 1 minute mark at this point right now. So there's the 1 minute mark. Also, I've got a few things hanging from January. If you've got something hanging, get with me so we can get it cleaned up. The stuff from January, I will start dumping back into resell. There isn't much of it, but there are a few things hanging. Minute 20 has passed. And here we come up on the minute 30 mark, and there's a minute 30. That's right, Big Job. You might be right. That's right about what these plates have been bringing. And if Norman liked this green one, and she may have taken everybody else out right out of the gate. Nope, Eloy's at 42. Eloy came back at 42. We've still got 10 seconds left. Norma at 50. And that does it. Norma at 50. Eloy came back at 51, just a hair too late. We got a few more plates, Eloy. No more of these green ones tonight, but we do have a few more plates coming yet tonight. So Norma at 50. How about a couple of Chevrolet pieces? I can't wait to get these tags out that I found this weekend. They are different. We haven't done anything like them, and they're cool. I got about 10 or 12 of them. I'm going to keep some. I got to see if Dad wants some, and we are definitely going to sell some. So Rusty's here with us. How about a couple of Chevrolet pieces? Horn buttons. No, I did not get these from John. These are two that I actually had in the box already. Haven't even unloaded the ones from John, so we'll start getting into those next week. The first one is the 48 to 53 Chevy truck horn button. These are fairly common, but this one looks really nice. This is original, believe it or not. Nice, shiny, clean, original. Snaps onto the back. It is a flat mount horn button for the Chevy trucks of that era. It is 3 5/8 by about 3 1/8. So about 3 5/8, about 3 1/8 there. This all is embossed in here. This is all stamped in the metal. The next one we're going to do, this is a 40s era car. I'm not sure what year. This is a plastic insert. It's got a few flaws up here, almost like I don't know if it was a cigarette burn or what, but there again, that's part of what makes these things original. When you see where the bow tie was, this is actually cast into the back of the plastic. This is a plastic insert in a metal ring. Eloy's saying 48, which should be right in the window where I was thinking. So this is a ribbed edge on this chrome ring. It is a pretty flat button as well, except for we just had the edges where it snapped in. On these Chevy horn buttons, this one is about 3 5/8 in diameter. So the pair of Chevy horn buttons, 48 car, 48 to 53 truck. Yeah, Eloy. Yeah, everybody's going to think you're going to taking a big bid there, Eloy, but whoops. So anyway, where are we at on the Chevy horn buttons? Anybody interested in these? I'm interested in my neck cracking. Or do we mix them in with more Chevy badges? Since we don't know where Eloy is at 60. Okay, so Eloy there again. Eloy may have stepped up on that one too, but and I know I don't want to get too Highlanders if they were 40 to be in. I don't want to get too excited because I know that sometimes these get hung up. We ran into that a couple weeks ago where everything hung up for about 30 seconds and then boom, like 4 bids would all hit at the same time. So we are live on the timer right now with Eloy at 60. As we come up on the 1 minute mark. And there she goes. There's 1 minute. Eloy at 60. Better be paying attention to what we want to do next. And there's the minute 30 mark. Minute 30. Eloy at 60. Ten seconds to go. And that will do it. Eloy at 60. I'll tell you what, some of you guys aren't messing around tonight, throwing numbers out there, and it ain't much of an auction when somebody jumps in there and just decides he's going to own them. So, but that's all right. They decide they're going to own them. Sometimes they shut everybody else down pretty quick. Let's do one of Addie's caps. We've got, actually, there's 5 caps tonight. 4 of these are Addies, and I already had one in the box, so we'll probably get to it here in a little while. It's one I got from Tim, but Addie's getting some more caps ready for you guys. Let's start off with one of those right now. This is another Mopar piece, another Plymouth cap. The ship is actually embossed in this thing, ribbed around the edges. This is all stamped into the metal. Hear that? The ship is stamped in it. Early 50s, I believe. This is a metal base cap, steel backing with a chrome cap over it. Eric's starting us off at 20 on the Plymouth cap. It's got some dings, some dents, scuffs, scratches, but no major damage. I'm in a great wall hanger with you guys with this big embossed ship in it. Let me give you some dimensions on this thing, then we'll get it on the timer. This thing is 10 inches in diameter. And just for reference, the ship part of it's about 2.5 inches high, so it is noticeable. Eric started us off at 20. Let's get this thing on the timer, and here we go. Eric at 20. We got some great pieces tonight, guys. Alex at 30. Mike Barger, fun fact, only 2 years was the Mayflower sailing towards you. All of the years it was sailing away from you. Was not aware of that. Thanks for throwing that in, Mike. That's what's so great about all you guys being on here, throwing that knowledge out there and sharing it with all of us. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. 1 minute has now passed. Alex at 30. Coming up on the minute 20 mark, Alex at 30 on the Plymouth cap. Minute 20 has passed. Mayflower didn't sail to Kansas. Now, it'd have been a pretty rough road getting to Kansas. We're at the minute 30 mark. Alex at 30. $20 seconds left to go. Tweedledee D at 35. 10 seconds left. Tweedledee D at 35. And that does it. Tweedledee D at 35. All right. I'm not getting anything on Facebook at this point, so I don't know if any of you guys are bidding or not, but I have had no feeds on any of the any bids on Facebook. So if you guys are just hanging out, that's perfectly great, but I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anybody over there. So Kevin L made it. Glad you made it. Yeah, we talked about you a little bit ago, Kevin L. That swung by and hung out at the swap meet for a minute. Okay, so Alec made a comment on Facebook that they're still there, just hasn't anything to bid on. Perfect. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't something goofy in the system. So anyway, Kenny made it. Kenny Peterson's here. Glad you made it. And let's move on to another emblem. This thing's cool. We've done one of these in the past. I've got a few of them, but I don't think I'm going to sell many more of them because they're awesome, mainly. This is a great emblem. This is a 1955 Cadillac fender script. This is a great font, cool piece, beautiful chrome on this thing. It's not broken, it's not chipped. It is flat. It does still have studs on it. You can put this thing anywhere, and it is just nothing but cool. It oozes cool. Richard waiting for Studebaker items. Richard, you are in luck if you're here for Studebaker items tonight, because there are a few Studebaker pieces in here that are awesome, to say the least. So glad you're here waiting on Studebaker stuff tonight, Richard, because I had some pieces picked out, so we'll definitely get them in tonight if you're waiting on Studebaker stuff. So, hey, Ryan and Amy are excited about them too. So, but anyway, this is off the front fender of a 55 Cadillac. It is, well, my tape measure doesn't snap back on me again, about 13 inches long and about 1.25 inches high. So it's about 13 inches by about 1.25 inches at the C. Now you can see the chrome on this thing is great. This is original. It hasn't been rechromed. It hasn't been restored. This is an original emblem off of a 1955 Cadillac. So anyway, what do we think of this piece? We'll give everybody a few seconds, see if there's any interest in the Cadillac emblem here, or if we're going to bundle it with some other Cadillac stuff later on. Or actually, this might go back in the box to be kept too. So anyway, because of the way these feeds, okay, yeah, Charles is in there at 20. So I figured there was something out there on this thing, because this thing is great. It looks like it's got a slight bow. I don't know if it looks like it's got a slight bow to it on your end, but it really, I think it's just kind of how it's made. Charles at 20. Joe's Classics at 25. I forgot to write it down here. Got too busy talking about it, didn't get it written down. All right, we're ticking along here on that one. I'm going to look for what we want to do next. Kenny at 30. Joe's Classics at 35. Joe's Classics at 35 as we hit the 1 minute mark. Good to see Charles bidding again. Charles hadn't been around the last couple weeks. Glad you made it back on. Hung out for a while tonight, Charles. Minute 20 has passed. Joe's Classics at 35. And there's the minute 30 mark. Charles at 37. 20 seconds left. Joe's at 40. Ten seconds left. And that will do it. Joe's Classics at 40. So that's a great piece. It's beautiful. All right, let's get, like I said, we got a couple of great Studebaker pieces tonight. Let's go ahead and get to one of them. Now, I'm sure some of you guys probably remember, I don't know how you could have forgot, this baby. Oh, yeah. No, we're not auctioning it. My new old stock, 55 Studebaker Grill S. Guy the Car Guy made it. Zach's here. Whiskey Business is with us. This one in the original Studebaker Packard box, new old stock. I know a lot of you guys remember this. No, I'm not going to auction it. I can't. It's too awesome. But even though I can't sell you that one, I will sell you this one. This one is used. Alec at 15. On this one, Alec, not the other one. This is the same thing. Tweedledee 25. This is a 55 Studebaker Grill S. Now, if you guys remember, Jess at 35, how these, it had kind of that three-dimensional grill, and this sunk back in. So that's why this is so long and so deep, because it had that three-dimensional look with this right in the nose of the grill. So this piece is about 4 5/8 long. Even though all you saw was the S, this is 4 5/8 long. Bolted to the big V. There's a big V in the middle of that grill, and this sat right in the middle of it. Now, actually, let me see if we can find a picture of it real quick, just to make sure. Yeah, tease with the good stuff. That's kind of I actually did kind of do that. Okay, if you guys can see this, there it is, right there in the center of the grill. This book is about to fall apart, so I've had this book for decades, literally. I've used the heck out of it. So there it is. Come back here. Right there in the center of that grill is where that sits. So you can see how that is sunk in there. And that's why it is so deep, because of the way they mounted it in that grill for a three-dimensional effect. So anyway, it is supposed to be gold. This has overspray on it from somebody who had done some painting on that car or something. So this white is not supposed to be over here. No, this wasn't necessarily Golden Hawk. This was probably off of like a 55 President. Actually, I can tell you, this was a 55 Champion is what this came off of. But President, Champion, they used them in 55. I don't know if Hawk did or not. I mean, Hawk may have used it. I'm not sure, actually. But they could have. So anyway, there it is, the 55 Studebaker S for the middle of the grill. It is about 1.5 inches tall. The S is about 1.5 inches tall. The back has a hole in it because it has a bolt that comes through the back, and then the two bottom pieces that mount to the center grill V. Let's get this thing on the timer and get moving. Jess at 35 is our high bidder. So let me get my notes made here. And this isn't the only cool Studebaker piece we've got tonight. So Joe didn't think Hawk used it, so that could be. Yeah, that's true. Gal the car guy, you can slice this thing in half. You can keep slicing this thing down and make 100 S's out of it for as much meat as to this thing. Jess at 35. We're ticking along on the timer right now. I don't know what this thing weighs. Several ounces. I mean, I don't know if it weighs a pound or not, but whoops. Okay, hoping to screw nothing up on my keyboard over there when I dropped it. 1 minute has now passed. We're past the 1 minute mark. Jess at 35. Jess said stop breaking her stuff. It might be yours in about 40 seconds. Jess at 35. 1 minute, 30 seconds has now passed. We're coming down to the wire. $20 seconds left. 10. Eric at 40. Oh, holy cow. That was like at 159. Eric at 40 at 159. Eric, if that had been that much longer, you'd have been 201. Woof. That was, man, that was like right across the nose. But you got it in. Barely, but you got it in. Woof. Man. I think we all need a Hudson badge after that shot. Joe's Classics 225. That was a whole different ball game there, but it was a little too late on that. Oh, I already got some stuff up here. Let's do a couple of Oldsmobile badges. We haven't done any Oldsmobile badges in a while. Actually, we'll do something kind of simple. Maybe a little more calming after that shot. I think that shot kind of, whoa. So let's do something small, easy, a little cheaper maybe. Do you have a nice Chevrolet emblem like you just sold? I couldn't find a nice one yesterday. Like the horn button that we just sold? Is that what we were talking about, Kevin? Or I'm not sure. So Bill's scared to touch his keyboard after that. Yeah. All right, we'll do a couple of Oldsmobile emblems. We'll take it down a notch after that shot. I think that shot scared everybody. Oh, like the Cadillac, like a script. I'm sure I've got something. I've got a couple of Chevrolet scripts that we're going to sell here in a little bit, Kevin. So they're not quite like that, but there's some different Chevrolet scripts. If you don't like them, you can always call me, and we can try to figure out exactly which one you're looking at. But let's go with a couple smaller badges, a little easier here after everybody recovers from that last shot that Eric just took. And we'll start off with the a plastic one and go with a metal one as well. This is your basic Oldsmobile plastic script, 80s probably, late 70s, early 80s. 5 inches long, chrome-plated letters, pretty basic Oldsmobile script. But still something, the nice thing about it is flat, double-sided tape mount. You can put these anywhere, and it's probably 40 years old. Zach, my bank account already hates me. It's going to divorce me after tonight. And then I think this is a 56. This is a cool badge. This is a front fender badge off of an Olds 88. So this is kind of a neat piece. This was stud mount, but the studs are broken on this, so it is basically a flat mount. It is a flat piece. You put some double-sided tape on this, be a cool display piece on the Oldsmobile pieces. So anybody interested in these obviously we'll kind of take her down a notch after that last shot. See what everybody thinks of the Oldsmobile badges. We'll sell these as a pair and kind of ratchet down here a little bit until everybody takes a break. Mike at 5. Let's go ahead and get rolling on the Olds badges. Eric at 15. That's right, Guile. Cool Man Cave art. And these are nothing fancy, but they're flat. You can stick them anywhere, and they're cool. The 88 is a really neat piece. This is metal, pop metal. We see some pits in it. It's got a little bit of mass to it. I didn't give you the dimensions on this. I forgot that. It's about 4 5/8 all the way across here. And 2 3/4 diameter on the circle. So, yeah. I've only got the one Jetfire badge. We've already had that discussion, Zach. Get my notes made here. And 1 minute has passed. Eric at 15. Oh, Zach's says, yeah, he's got one. He just wouldn't mind having another. So, well, that's what I was thinking. I thought you said you had gotten one. Minute 20 has passed. John's here. Glad you made it, John. Got suckered into going to the grocery store. I did get your payment. The other day. It was here when I got back from the swap meet, John, just so you know. Minute 30 has passed. Eric at 15. $20 seconds. Bill Disc, 16. 10 seconds left. And that does it. Bill Disc at 16. Eric came back at 18, just a little bit too late. How about another Addy cap? We'll do an Addy cap. We'll do some of the Chevy badges. We'll squeeze in a license plate in here coming up. I think we've done one of these before. I'm not sure. One similar to this because it had. I remember these little dimples on this little Rambler cap. I believe the R was supposed to have been red. Yeah, it was. You can kind of see. I don't know if you guys can make it out or not. Still see a little bit of red paint back in there. So, if I was going to hang this up, I'd probably repaint the red. And I bet these little dots were probably black originally. Touch that thing up. Going on Bill's toolbox. That's a perfect place for him. Big Job said, yep, he got one. So, perfect, Joe. Appreciate that. This is a stainless cap. Like I said, I'd repaint the R, repaint the black and the dots, and hang this thing on the wall. A few little dings and dents in it, but that's because it's probably early 60s. Looks good on the back on this one. A little bit of water in there from when she cleaned it. This cap is right at 10 inches in diameter on the little stainless Rambler cap. So, Big Job got one. Who else wants one? You touch up the R and these things really stand out and they really pop. So you can see the shine on this one. You can catch the lights coming off the ceiling on the little Rambler cap. So, anyway. Man, I must be doing a lot of talking tonight. John at 10 on the Rambler cap. Like I said, I think this is early 60s, somewhere in that vicinity. I'm not 100% sure. This is all stamped in there. I guess you can probably kind of see that is all stamped in. Kind of comes out to a little bit of a dome here, and then that's stamped in. And this is a ridge around the outside edge. So, John says, I need it. We're live on the timer, so we're going. Yeah, Mike says the circles were black. That's kind of what I was thinking. Richard at 20 on Facebook. Or 12, excuse me. Richard at 12 on Facebook, excuse me. Richard on Facebook at 12. John at 13. Randy's thinking 63, 64. That's probably about what I would be guessing too, somewhere right in that vicinity. John at 13. As we hit the 1 minute mark. Richard at 16 on Facebook. Tweedledee D at 15, but I've already got Richard at 16. John at 20. Tweedledee at 22 as we hit the minute 30 mark. So lots of people bidding on this thing. We'll see if anybody jumps in here at the end. It's all been small bids. So John at 25. It's all been $1 or $2 at a time. So we'll see what happens here with 20 seconds left to go. John at 25. 10 seconds left. Tweedledee at 27. Richard at 27. And that does it. I had Tweedledee first on YouTube, just a hair before Richard at 27, but both at the same bid. So John came back at 28. I had Tweedledee, Richard, and then John right after we were done. So Tweedledee, I had him first, and unfortunately, that's the only way I know how to do those is who pops up first on my screen. And I know there's some delay there. I apologize, Richard, but sometimes that does happen when we get the same bid. I got one here and one there and one there, and that's what all I got to go on. So but the good news is we've got more caps to go yet tonight. So Chevy badges. I told you guys we do some Chevy badges next. All right. Chevy badge bundle. We'll give you a Hudson badge. That one almost got a little interesting, too. We're going to start off with the world-renowned Chevrolet Citation. Yep, a badge off a Citation. I always like throwing some of these oddballs in here just for the heck of it. Some of this stuff we don't even think about anymore. Citation probably being one of them for most people, especially if you had to drive one. 4 5/8 by 2 3/8. 4 5/8, 2 3/8. This is plastic, double-sided tape mount, flat Citation. Pre-85 is it's not a Citation 2, says Shopcat. The next one is a Chevrolet Script. I don't know if this is kind of what you're looking for or not, Kevin. This is early 70s era Chevrolet Script. I believe this was like a trunk emblem. It was 6 3/8 on this Chevrolet Script. Oh, and the height on this one was about 1 3/4 inches on the C. This was off a full size. And the last one, can't hold on another night. Malibu. Now, this one is 71-3 full-size trunk, Chris. This is 67 Malibu. This actually came off a 67 Malibu wagon. These came out of the salvage yard when I was over in Missouri working. So, John started us off at 10. And the Malibu is 8 3/8 by 1.5 inches. 8 3/8 1.5 inches. So all three, one money. Chris at 11 on the Chevrolet badge bundle. Let's get this thing live on the timer. John at 12. Chris at 13. John at 20. Chris at 21. As we come up on the 1 minute mark, there's the 1 minute mark. Chris at 21. And 1:20 has passed. And there's the 1:30 mark. Chris at 21. "20 seconds left to go. "10. Chris at 21. John at 22, right at the buzzer. Holy cow. There was another one where you didn't have another second. Whew. There's been a couple of those tonight that hit the 159 or 2 mark. I mean, it was that tight. So John at 22, holy cow, that was bonkers. All right. I think we need to do another plate. Let's catch another license plate. This is another one that I really like the color on. This is also another truck plate, probably used on a farm truck because it does not use very hard. This does have the envelope with it, but it is not the correct envelope. This is, and we've done a few of these before because it's such a great color. And actually, I wonder if this came off the same truck as the last one we just sold, the 70, because it's dented in the exact same spot. On this 1967 truck plate. This is like a baby blue to kind of go with kind of the light mint green that we just had. But it's also a truck. It has the farm sticker, and it's dented right in the exact same place as the other one was. So that's kind of odd. It was used. We see where it was screwed on. Back of it looks beautiful. Yeah, some gloss for a 67 plate, that's for sure. That's what I was thinking. It must if it had a hitch or something on it. I'm curious. We'll look real quick. The 6M, I think it had something to do with like the weight rating or something. Tap Mike says tonnage. Exactly. You know what? I bet they were. This is Norma's plate, but we're going to look at it real quick. If we look at the size of the screws, I bet these came off of the same truck. Look at where this has a big diameter circle screw, and this did too because it actually hit the K. The diameter on this screw looks the same as that diameter. And the little whammo down here looks almost identical. I bet these came off the same truck. Just a couple of years later. So anyway, let's put Norma's plate back away. And let's sell the 67 plate. All right, Norma at 30 on the light blue 67 plate. Let's get this thing rolling. This is a standard size plate. I didn't realize that until I pulled it out and seen they were both whammoed. I've got like 5 boxes of plates from this one auction. I mean, pulling, and there was like 60 plates, I think, 60 or 70 plates. Yeah, there were 60 or there was actually I think there was close to 70 plates in this box, and I pulled 2 of these out for the same night off the same truck. Norma at 30. Sherlock Chad. Yeah, it's kind of what it was like. Yeah. Norma at 30. And there's the 1 minute mark. I don't know if I've got the ones that go in between them or not. I don't know if I got the 68, 69 in the same condition or not. And there's the minute 20 mark. Minute 30's passed. Norma at 30. 20 seconds left to go. Yeah, it would be crazy. I'll have to look now if I've got the 68 and 69 that goes with it. We may have already sold them too. I don't know. 10 seconds left. Richard at 33 on Facebook. Eloy at 32. I got Richard at 33 over here. And that does it. Richard at 33 on Facebook. Norma came back at 40, but Richard at 33 on Facebook. That got kind of interesting there at the last second. Richard kind of slid that one in. And we've even got another Studebaker piece. The next piece I actually grabbed was Studebaker. So that's one of the things Richard was waiting on as well. This is another 55 piece. This is actually off of the same car as the Grill S came off of. Hudson badge. And this is the trunk bar. Now, we looked at a 55 President trunk bar that I had. This one came off of a 55 Champion. Now, this one's definitely got some pitting in it. But it's not broke. It's not chipped. You can see the pits in the chrome. This is a kind of a beast of a piece. This thing's pretty big. The area back in behind the Studebaker and the Champion letters, that would have been painted black. The trunk lock would have been right in here. This does have a little bit of a curve to it, the way it mounted on the trunk. Eric at 25. Eric started us off at 25. You can see where these little indentions are. This was used as a trunk handle. You could put your fingers up under there to pull the trunk up. You see the back of it. This is fresh off a car from that Missouri run that I made. So it's got some pits and stuff, but this is fresh material. Real quick to give you a dimension on this, Eric at 25, starting us off, 19 3/8. So almost 19 and a half inches long. Like I said, you can see the bow in it, and about 3 1/4 on here. So almost 19 and a half, about 3 1/4 here. On the 55 Studebaker Champion trunk bar, trunk handle piece. Eric at 25, let's roll. Scott made it tonight. Glad you're here, Scott. I should be thinking about what we're going to do next. Man, we got a lot of cool stuff to do yet. Oh, yeah, we're going to do that big piece. Coming up on the 1 minute mark. 1 minute has now passed. I've got Eric at 25. John at 26. Minute 20 has passed. John at 26. There's the minute 30 mark. Richard at 28. 20 seconds left to go. I've got Richard at 28 on Facebook. Whiskey Business at 32. Zach at 32. 10 seconds left to go. Zach at 32. Eric at 35. Just about done. Few seconds left. Eric at 35. Zach at 36, and that does it. Eric came back at 38. Kenny at 37. Zach at 36. It doesn't, no, this probably weighs a pound or so. It's not bad because you see the back, it's all hollow. So yeah, if this was all filled in and solid, it would weigh a ton. But since it's all hollow, you can see how thick it is. So now this piece, on the other hand, does have some heft to it. I got this from Tim, Mr. Good Pliers, when I stopped through and saw him the other day. How about an Auburn badge? This thing is a beast, and it's awesome. I know we got some hood ornament fans on here, and this is an awesome hood ornament. I love these things. I've got one. Tim had one laying there, so I bought it from him to sell it to you guys, to share it with you, because these things are great. And who doesn't love the big rocket off of an Oldsmobile? Yep. Check that bad boy out. Coming right at you. I think this is like a 56 maybe. Oldsmobile hood ornament. Picked this up from Tim. He had it laying there. I figured you guys would dig it. This does have some weight to it and some size to it. So it's going to cost a few bucks to ship this thing. Let me give you some dimensions on this thing so we can kind of get an idea of what we're talking about. Mike's getting us kicked off at 20 on it, so we've got a good start. Jess at 35. It is right at 12 inches across, so it's a foot across. Now, you can see this, obviously the center stops here. I'm going to sit it on these rear pegs and measure here to the nose. So it's sitting flat on the desk. Yeah, USS Enterprise 1701, pretty close. Jess at 35. So there it is. It's basically a square. It's basically a foot square. You guys can see it's right at a foot right there at the nose as well. So basically 12 by 12. It has a little bit of an angle to it because of the way it sits on the hood. It's got a little bit of pitting, but it's mostly on the bottom here. Could work as an antenna, yeah. You know, they didn't make it completely solid. It's got some openings here and here, but this thing is still pretty hefty. And the sides aren't completely filled in. Rico would put it on top of his mailbox. And on the back, it's got the fins back here and actually looks like a jet output on the back of it. So this thing is a beast. And anyway, I love doing that. Come in from the top, playing airplanes like a little kid. All right, let's get this thing rolling. Jess at 35. That's right, good engine for heavy-duty hood hinges, that's for sure. That's right, gal. It is in good condition. It's got a few pits, a few scratches. I mean, shoot, it's 60-some years old, but it still looks pretty decent. Jess at 35. Just as he slapped down his 51 Ford and rolled with it. I don't blame you. Stay a kid, adult stuff sucks. That's true. That's a good point. Jess at 35. As we come up on the 1 minute mark, I think we've got shipping covered at this point, but Jess is being put it on her Nash. Minute 20 is passed. And there's the minute 30 mark. $20 seconds left. Jess at 35. Pete, 51. 10 seconds left. Pete at 51, 10 seconds left. Jess at 55. Pete at 56. Oh, he slid. Holy cow. I said Pete at 56. Look down, it's at 200. As I said, Pete 56. That's as tight as that one. That's how tight that one got. I may have to wait to ship this one, Pete. I may have to get you a whole box just to get this thing, just to get what's going to cost to ship this thing worked in. So I may have to get a box put together for you. I may not ship that right away till we get a few more things to go with it. How about a Hudson badge? Pete says Jess can have it if she wants it. So that's up to you, Jess. Do you want it or not? Pete's being a good sport if Jess wants it. We're going to move on and get ready to move on to the next piece while they sort that out. Or like Joe says, I can just send it to him. I can put it in his box too. But let's keep rolling. She said Pete can have it. So we'll keep that marked to Pete. How about backing it up to some old enamel badges? We all love those. We've got a couple of them tonight. This first one's got a few scuffs and scratches in it, but I still love all of these. And this one is going to be going back into the 20s, and I love these. The only reason I'm selling this one, I got a couple handfuls of them. I just come up with this one. I've already got a handful of them that I've kept for me that I don't want to sell. But as you all know, I love the Buick badges. This one's probably early to mid-20s. It's got some scuffs and scratches in the white. It's got a little bit of chipping right here in the U. This is a flat badge with the button on the back where it was pressed to hold it on the grill shell. Joe at 10, Eric at 25. This Buick badge, because there are 3 different sizes of these. Alex at 40. 2 1/4 by 1 3/4 inches. 2 1/4 by 1 3/4 inches. Alex at 40. Let's get this thing on the timer. On the early 20s era Buick badge. Alex at 40. I'm sure Pete's probably not done. And if nothing else, I'm sure there's going to be more next week that Pete will want. So that's true, Kenny. Nobody's are always great sports. I've seen that pop up and I missed it. I got so much stuff going on, but that's true. And that's another thing I always want to thank you guys for. Everybody's a great sport on here. And that's what makes this fun. As we come up on the 1 minute mark, you guys are all great sports. Nobody gets too upset about it. And that's what makes this thing fun. And it adds to your guys' collection as well. So that's right, Scott. Put on a belt buckle. It's a neat piece. I've got Alex at 40 as we hit the minute 20 mark. Yep, I'm definitely busy, Kenny. There's a 1 minute 30 mark. Alex at 40. It's a great badge for $40, that's for sure, even with the scratches on it. 10 seconds left. And that does it. Eric came in at 43, but it was a hair too late. Alex at 40 is what we had at the 2-minute mark. So you guys Alex came back too after the fact, but it was all already after the 2 minutes. So we've got Alex at 40 on it. All right, let's catch another cap. Another one of Addie's caps. That's right, Alex. It's a great badge for $40. That's for sure. We got another cool badge coming up here in a little bit too, so keep that in mind. Let's catch another one of Addie's caps. Another Plymouth, but a different style. And actually now I kind of want to look at something. We'll check it out here in a minute. This is earlier. This is 40s, maybe even late 30s. I'm not sure. It's banged up a little bit worse. But what's kind of weird is it's just a completely smooth cap with the ship on it. All just no ridges, no edges, just some dings and dents, but nothing but a circle with the ship. You're back in time, Tweedledee D, because we are now selling another Plymouth cap that will go with your other Plymouth cap. So you're back at the perfect time if you need another Plymouth cap to go with your other Plymouth cap. But thanks to Mike making us all curious about what direction the ship is going. It looks like it's going backwards this time. Holy ship, that's right. The ships are going different directions, it looks like. Or no, is it? I can't tell. I think this is going forward and this is going backwards or going away from you, but I'm not sure. This is Tweedledee's. This one might be Tweedledee's, or it might be yours here in a little bit. This one we just sold to Tweedledee. There's the difference in the ships. Since Mike brought that up, I thought that was a great point. I thought we had to check that out. This cap, also a chrome cap on a steel base. Alex says they both show the sterns, what he thinks. Okay. This cap is 10 inches in diameter. This ship is about the same size as the last one. No, actually, this is a little bigger. This ship is 3 1/4. This circle is 3 1/4 in diameter on this cap. The cap is 10. I'm not sure on the year, but it's definitely earlier than the other one. So I think this is probably early 40s, late 30s on the Plymouth cap with the ship. Back has a little surface rust in it. It's pitted it, but not rusted out, and has the ship on this one. So let's roll on this Plymouth cap, another one of Addie's caps, to go with maybe the other cap. Maybe Tweedledee needs them both. It'd make a good pair. Let me get my notes caught up here. And who's going to get us rolling on this one? John at 10. John's starting us off at 10. This is all embossed as well in this cap. The circle's embossed and the entire ship is embossed. Other than that, this is just a completely smooth cap other than the dings. Tweedledee at 20. Tweedledee at 20 on the Plymouth cap. Got all the car guys got his popcorn out. We better have a Hudson badge to go with your popcorn. Mike's thinking 39 to 41. I think that's a pretty good estimate, Mike. I'm thinking right in the same window with you. Tweedledee at 20. As we're coming up on the 1 minute mark. 1 minute has now passed. Tweedledee at 20. Alex at 25. Minute 20 is passed. Alex at 25. Minute 30 is passed. Alex at 25. We're just coming down to the end of this one. About 10 seconds left. Alex at 25. And that does it. Alex at 25. All right. Okay, what else do we want to do? Man, there's so much good stuff here. Let's see. Let's catch a plate. Got a couple more plates, a couple more caps, a couple more badges. One really cool badge too. Let's catch this plate. Now, this plate, I think this is the last one that I've got that matches the envelope. I'm not sure, but I think this is the last one with envelope. 1965 PL 271 or 251? 251. PL 251 1965. And there she is. This one's not dented at the bottom. So this is with its original package. This is the envelope. This plate was mailed in. It's got some scuffs in it. It looks like it's got a little bit of paint on it. This stuff would buff off. In fact, I should have used some rubbing compound on that and took it off, but I didn't think about it. But I think all this stuff will come off of there. We'll find out real quick. I should have done this, but I didn't think about it. I was running a little behind getting stuff ready today. So let's check this real quick, like. Just bear with me a second here. Oh, yeah, it's buffing right off. Should have done this before, but I didn't realize it. So it is coming off. I'm not going to do it all right now because I don't want to keep you guys tied up, but I just wanted to see if it would come off, and it does. So you can see it's already starting to thin off. See how much color that brought back just by doing that as I was rubbing that off of there? So anyway, that will polish off there. It's just going to take a little bit of elbow grease, a little bit of rubbing compound. So anyway, Norma starting us off at 25. John, I've been behind for a few years now, so it's all good. We'll good. Kansas 1965 PL 251 with original envelope. It was mailed in 1965. Let's go ahead and roll this thing. Highlander at 28. Norma at 40. Ed's whiskey works wonders for polish. Norma at 40. As we come up on the 1 minute mark, Norma sitting there at 40 as the high bidder. Minute 20's passed. Thanks, Gal, the car guy. Yeah, it is a good looking piece. Minute 30 has now passed. 30 seconds left to go. Norma at 40 on the 65 plate with matching original envelope. 20 seconds left to go. Yeah, Norma's got a ton of plates. She's got some great stuff. 10 seconds left. Eloy 43. Eloy at 43. Norma at 50, and that, whoo, man, she slid that in. That was at like 159. She was ready for that. I don't know if she saw that pop up or not because she didn't have much time, but she got it done. Norma at 50. Wow. Yeah, that's right, John. A little Wild West action going on there. Wow, that was nutso. All right, how about something for our Ford friends? This is kind of a cool piece. This is something I got from Tim, Mr. Good Pliers as well. Little Hudson badge there. This is off of a 46 to 48 car. I mean, it's a great display piece, especially for a Ford fan. Yeah, is Norma's last name Bronner or Brawler? That's actually a very good point, Joe. But this went right at the top of the grill on a 46 to 48 era Ford car. These are cool. Right out there in your face. This is all one cast piece. This is pot metal. It's all one unit, all cast this way. As you can I think you can see that the ridges and the Ford was originally red. We can see traces of red in there. This is not, Eric's already at 25. John just saying he needs it. So ribbed on top, the Ford logo, ridges down here. And this would have had bars coming out of each side of it. And then the grill bars would have stacked below it. Highlander at 28. That's kind of what I was thinking, the car guy, Ford Tractor Red. David W. at 30, Eric at 35, John at 30. So Eric at 35. Big Job is contemplating. It is 11 5/8. So 11 5/8, little under a foot long. And about 5 1/4 high. So about 5 1/4 tall on this piece. It has a little depth to it back here. You've seen the back of it. You see from the profile, it has a little bit of depth the way it curves here. On the 46 Ford upper grill ornament. Great piece for a Ford fan. Eric at 35 is our current high bidder. Twilly D at 35 as well, but I've already got Eric at 35. Twilly D 37. As we hit the 1 minute mark, I've got Tweedledee at 37. Minute 20 has passed. Tweedledee at 37. $20 left to go. $10. Eric at 39. Pete at 46. And that does it. Pete at 46. I had Tweedledee at 46 right after Pete. Kenny at 44 right after that. Pete at 46 is who I had on my screen. All right, Addie's got one more cap here. I don't know if we've done this one or not. I know we've done something similar to it, but they had some stuff that was kind of similar on some of these. This is a Pontiac cap. It's 40s for sure. I think maybe early 40s. It's an embossed chrome cap. Whoa, I can't even hardly see the Pontiac letters. It's too reflective. The Pontiac is all stamped in it. You can see there was some red in it right here. So these letters were originally red. It had a stamped edge around it. Kevin had to whip some sunglasses out for that one. Yeah, that's for sure. I was like, I think it said Pontiac, and there was so much reflection I couldn't even make the letters out. Eric started us off at 20. And you can see the ribbed edges on this one. This is a steel-backed cap, once again with a chrome cap on it. It is 9 3/8, a little bit smaller than some of the other ones. This is 9 3/8. This is all stamped in. A few dings and dents. Obviously, definitely shiny. Eric is starting us off at 20 on it. Let's go ahead and get this thing boogieing. Like I said, I think it's early 40s, but I'm not sure. So we'll see what you guys think. And we're ticking along on that one. Mike is saying 40-41. That's kind of right along the lines of what I'm thinking as well. So Eric at 20. As we hit the 1 minute mark, I've got Eric at 20. Minute 20 has passed. And there's the minute 30 mark. Tony at 22. Tony at 22. 20 seconds left to go. $10. Eric at 25 right at the end once again. This thing's getting tight. Eric at 25 right at the very end. Tony came back right at 27 too. Eric didn't have a second to spare on that one, and then Tony tried to answer, but it was all done. Holy cow. But one thing about it, that's what makes it fun, guys. So, and as always, I appreciate everybody jumping in, playing along, and having fun. So, got a tag, a badge, and a couple of badge bundles, I think, to go, and we'll finish this deal up tonight. I promise you guys another cool badge. That's right, late shots fired. This badge is great. We've done a lot of little badges, and this one's got great color. It's got a few chips in it. But I do have this one, so we are going to sell this one to somebody else so they can add it to their collection as well. Great colors on this one. Like I said, I double-checked and actually dug through all my boxes and made sure, positively sure, that I still had this in my collection before I drug this thing out here to sell it. Because I didn't want to make a mistake and sell something that I didn't have. So I had to go in and double check and make darn sure that I had this one. So, that being said, what we've got next is the 1926-27 Star 4. This thing has awesome colors. Does have some chips. Tweedledee at 45. I told you guys it was good. It looked good. Chipped here, chipped here, chipped here. White, blue, Durant Motors Companies. This was Durant's chart, cheaper car. Star across here, but it was a division of Durant, 4-cylinder. Yeah, I told you guys we had a good one coming. And like I said, I've got a lot of good badges here lately that are duplicates. So we're going to be mixing a few of these in. Just a tick under 2 inches. That's right. It is a brilliant blue, Big Job. That's for sure. A real deep, brilliant blue with the white, the Durant Motors, the Star 4. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of cool on this one. There again, we can see on the back where they'd have these tabs that you can't if I don't hold it, where these tabs would press back to hold it on the radiator grill shell. Alex at 75. Eric's never even heard of them. 1926, 1927, according to my favorite website, American Automobile Emblems. 1926, 1927, Star 4-cylinder, the economy car version of the Durant from the Durant Motor Company. 1926, 1927. Alex at 75. I told you guys we had a good badge coming, and I hope I didn't disappoint. We're live on this thing. We are rolling. Let's see what happens. Alex at 75. What I think we'll do, I've got one more really great plate. We'll do it next. And I've got a Ford badge bundle and a Chevy badge bundle to wrap tonight up. And then we're going to be on to the magazine. Alex at 75 as we come up to the 1 minute mark. Yep, Eric got some homework to do. Yes, Billy Durant was heavily involved with GM for a couple of times. The second time he was pushed out, that's when he started the Durant Motor Company, if I remember correctly. But yes, Billy Durant was heavily, in fact, he's who put GM together. It was his concept to put GM together to start with. So minute 20's passed. Alex at 75. Minute 30's gone. 30 seconds left. $20 seconds left to go. $10. Pete, 101. And that does it. Pete at 101. Durant, who brought Chevrolet into the GM's fold. So, yeah, I think he was involved with some of that. Pete slid that in there at about 158 at 101. Congrats to Pete. That's why we're here, Eric. We all learn something. That's what's great about it. And all of us contribute. That's why this is called a chat. It's not called chat sitting here babbling. It's a chat. And everybody's knowledge is what helps build this thing. Everybody a Hudson badge on that one. That one was fun as well. One more super great license plate. A couple of more badge bundles. And then we're going to roll on into the magazine tonight. And we're going to go back in time once again. Actually, earlier than the Star Badge. Yep, the Star Badge was only 1926. We're backing up a little further than that. Yep, back to 1925 on a license plate, but not Kansas. Like I said, occasionally I do find some other stuff. I actually picked up a couple this weekend at the swap meet that were a little further away even than this. Sometimes we come up with some Nebraska, Colorado, Oklahoma, and Missouri. But I actually got a few California plates this weekend at swap meet. So I need to go through those. I haven't decided if I'm going to sell them or not because they're pretty cool. But what we've got next is a 1925 Missouri. This appears to be original paint. It does have some surface rust here. It's not rusted out. Eric at 45 starting us off on this one. Obviously, it was green. I don't know if these were white or yellow or what the numbers were supposed to be on this one. This is a little bit bigger than a standard plate that we're used to. So let me give you some dimensions on this one. This plate is almost 14 inches long. So it's a couple inches wider than a normal license plate that we're familiar with. It is just under 6. So it is about the same height as a standard plate. I don't know why you need it in your life, John. Probably because it's cool, because it is cool. Yeah, you get back, 98 years. There's not a lot of them, especially in this shape. Look at the back of this thing. That's original paint on the back. I'm pretty sure this is not a factory hole. I think that one was been added. But no rust out, no rips or tears, just some dings, dents, and surface rust on this 1925 Missouri license plate. So Eric's kicking us off at 45. John's obviously thinking about this one pretty strong. Norma is not messing around at $100. John came in at 50 and isn't even swinging anymore. Norma brought the cannon out, I think. I think that was a cannon with like a 10-pound cannonball in it. So we'll wait around here a little bit and see if anybody's going to try to hang with Norma on this deal. Gal says, I think that was a howitzer. I think it was too. We hit the 1 minute mark. We'll see if anybody brought anything bigger than a howitzer to play with Norma. That's right. He says, no, Norma's knocked this one off my shoulder. Yeah. John says he thinks he'll go refill his drink now. Minute 20's passed. Everybody's already congratulating Norma. Norma says, game over. That's a good point. Well, we had to have a Hudson badge anyway. And an Auburn badge. $20 seconds left to go. $10. And that will do. Oh, Eloy come in at 201 with 101. Man, that was, it hit 2. I reached up to hit it down. It hit 1. I seen 101 right here, and it was 201 on my phone. Eloy took a shot, but it was this late. That one was by Norma got it by like the skin of her teeth. Holy cow. Joe at 275 was a real late, but that was close. It couldn't have been any closer on that. But Eloy tried to make her interesting. It was literally 1 second too late. All right. Wow, those two were interesting. Let's catch a couple more badge bundles. Let's get on to the magazine. I just had a couple more bids pop up. They must have been hung up in there. A 25 from Eric and a 39 from Mike. Oh, that Mike retracted. I don't know what had. I wonder if that was an old one that was hung up in there or something from earlier or from the beginning. Let's throw something out there for our Ford friends, and then let's catch a Chevy badge bundle, and then we're going to keep on boogieing. Okay, that's what I figured, Joe. I came in late, so I figured yours was a joke. So, all right. Ford badge bundle, Chevy badge bundle, and then we'll get to the magazine because the magazine is so awesome. We'll start off with a Brougham off of, I don't know, early 70s Mercury, I believe. Stud mount, flat. This was like a C-pillar plastic insert. That's why I've got the tape on it to hold the plastic in there. It is, plus Joe's broke, 3 1/4 by 1.5 inches on the Brougham. Next piece is going to be the piece we tried to sell a couple weeks ago while I was on the road till the Wi-Fi crashed. The 65 Fairlane fuel door ornament. We were right in the middle of this thing when we lost the Wi-Fi and everything went. This piece is 6 1/4 by about 1.25 inches, and this has some depth to it. It is hollow in the back, so it's not super heavy. But this is what mounted right on the fuel door of a 65 Fairlane. Now, to go with that, another emblem off that 65 Fairlane. This was the C-pillar with the Ford crest. Tape included, that's right. This is 7 inches long. It is flat. It is stud mount. It is chrome-plated pop metal. So all 3 Ford badges, one deal. Number 1's back. No C-pillar included. That's correct. All the Ford badges, one-shot deal. What do we think on the Ford badge bundle? Get my notes caught up here. Big job at 10. All right, we're ticking along on the timer on this one. Big job at 10. One more group of Chevys, and then we're going to be moving forward. Zach's back. He was held hostage, forced to eat homemade spaghetti. Well, it doesn't sound like a bad way to get held hostage to me. One minute has now passed. Big job at 10. Minute 20 is passed. You guys gonna make this easy on Big Job, huh? There's the minute 30 mark. $20 seconds left to go. They may make it real easy on you. $10 seconds left. And that'll do it. That was super simple. Tape these back up and put them with the stuff from last week. What was that big Ford piece from? 46. That was off of a 46. Jody's drinking dinner tonight. Not always a bad plan. We'll help you out with that. One more. Let's do a Chevy badge bundle, and then let's get to the magazine. This is a pretty good Chevy badge bundle. I like this one. There's some cool stuff in this one. Starting off with just your basic script, but it also has a bow tie on it. I think this is off of a 70. It's basically flat, but the bow tie actually is recessed slightly. Stud mount. It is chrome plated pop metal. The bow tie was blue originally. Obviously, this one's faded out. And about 6.5 inches long. And a couple pieces for our Impala fans. This is a rear quarter emblem. John's starting us off at 10. This is about a 62. This is the Impala that would have been like on the rear quarter. This one's pretty nice. Nice bright chrome. It is flat. It was, stud mount. It has the original acorn nuts still on it. And it is Chris at 11. 2.5 on the diameter of the circle and a little under 3 counting the back legs. John at 20. And yeah, you guys haven't even seen the good one. As far as I'm concerned, the last one, I saved the best emblem for last. Last auction of the night, last badge bundle of the night, and this is by far one of my favorite Chevrolet badges. The prancing Impala over the rally flags. This was 60, I believe. I've got John at 20, 4 3/4 long. Norma at 25, 4 3/4 long. About 2 inches high from the bottom of the flag, counting the top of the Impala. Stud mount. It did have a slight V to it because it fit on the curve of a car. John, holy cow, let's see here. John at 41, I guess, is my high bidder currently. On the Chevrolet badge bundle. I think it's a 71 grill. I think this is a 62 quarter, and I think this is a 60 quarter. All Impala stuff. Here we go. Last one of the night. Let's get going on it. I'm going to get my notes made. John at 41. There's the 1 minute mark. John at 41. Give you a Hudson badge in the middle of that, too. Minute 20 has passed. And there is our minute 30 mark. $20 seconds left to go. John at 41. This got pretty interesting in the beginning. We got 10. Now we got about 10 seconds left. John at 41. And that did it. Eloy came in at 42 at 2:02. Just a hair late. Holy cow. All right, that'll catch it for tonight. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for participating. I appreciate your good sportsmanship throughout that whole process, because I know that can be a little tricky when there's a lot of stuff going on. But everybody's such a great sport. We have a lot of fun on it. It supports financially the time that I do to put into this, to build this show every weekend. And I'm excited the fact that you guys dig this stuff too, and it helps add to your guys' collection. So I'm glad you guys like this stuff. I always try to find different and interesting stuff. I know I got some great stuff at the swap meet this weekend. Plus, I've still got a little bit of stuff from sorting through from the Missouri run. So we will definitely have more cool stuff coming next week. Congratulations to all the winners tonight. And we'll do it again next week. Oil cans, Tweedly D. Yes, we will definitely have oil cans for the next several weeks now. A lot of the oil cans that I had, a lot of my duplicates, I had so many duplicates that I almost had too many duplicates. But a lot of this stuff I've got this weekend, and I got a box from Tim, Mr. Good Pliers, a couple weeks ago. We will definitely have some more oil cans integrated into the mix for the next several weeks, and there's some good stuff in there. Nothing super rare, $500 cans, but a lot of really nice 40s, 50s, 60s metal painted cans with good logos on them. A lot of $20 to $40 stuff, and maybe some stuff a little better than that. I actually haven't even gone through the whole box, so there will definitely, absolutely be more oil cans coming. That's right, guys. You guys did an awesome job, and it was another great auction. Thanks to everybody. Now, time for the magazine. I've got you guys pretty hyped up about this magazine, and for good reason, because it's pretty epic. There is so much cool in this magazine. Since it's a full-size magazine, I try to get, like we've done in the past, I try to get halfway through it, and then we do the second half the next week because it just takes so long. I actually cut this one short about 5 or 6 pages before the halfway point, because I didn't know if you guys would be able to handle this much awesomeness in one night, because there is a whole bunch of awesomeness in the February 1965 issue of Hot Rod Magazine. Now, just to give you, and I'm not showing you the whole cover yet, because that's right, Kenny says hit the thumbs up. Appreciate that. Now I'm going to show you the rest of the cover to give you an idea how much awesomeness is in this thing. Pete's already giving us some thumbs up on this deal. Check out the rest of the cover. A pair of front engine diggers mid-burnout. So we're going to have to, like I said, there's a lot of cool in this magazine. You guys are all, yeah, I know. You guys even see what's inside yet. So that's, like I said, I mean, like a truckload of cool. So let's go ahead and get rolling. Now, the first article we're going to catch was the headline above the diggers on the little Barracuda, a full-blown road test on the little Barracuda Formula S, powered by the new, for that time, the little 273 Commando in the Formula S package. Talk about an action shot on a little Barracuda. Check that one out, guys. This is the road test in this magazine. This is even getting to the race cars and look at the shots they got of this thing. Factory tack, 4-speed car. The next page, actually a really, really good detailed shot of the little Commando 273. Tony already thinks it cool. Tony, you better hang on to your seat because we ain't even to the cool stuff yet. But a pretty in-depth article on the Barracuda Formula S. And this is something we don't hardly ever see, but actually talking about the suspension stuff, the springs, the shocks, the torsion bars. I mean, this thing got detailed in this article. But that's it. That's all it covered for the little Barracuda. But man, talk about an in-depth article. We can spend the rest of the night on that article. Where we're going, we don't need roads. That's pretty much what I think they were trying to do. But we'll jump forward a few more pages to a few more articles, and we're heavy on Mopar here. This one's one Harry sedan. Norm Thatcher's mighty Plymouth Hemi tops 200 on gas. Now, this shows this picture of this car at the Salt Flats with a supercharged Hemi out setting speed records. So check this thing out. And the next page, another Mopar. There's some great Mopar stuff in here, and we still got to get to some even cooler stuff after that. But this is pretty cool. And believe it or not, we're stepping it up. We're building to the cool stuff. We're building to the cool stuff. We're not totally at the complete cool stuff. And the next article we're going to look at starts with the name Landy. Yeah. Dandy Dick Landy in a super stock Dodge, or they're still calling them stalkers actually, but this was an altered wheelbase car packing Hemi power. Check this thing out. Yeah. Like I told you, whole bunch of cool. Now, like we just talked about, that was an altered wheelbase car. And it's showing some other stuff. It's showing what they did on the front end to change some of that weight distribution with the springs and the shackles on the front end of that car. So while we're talking about stockers, and it actually talks a little bit about the altered wheelbase stuff, but there's another car here that looks a little bit funny that I remember seeing pictures of this car. I've never read a ton about it, but it's because I've never really seen much about it at all. We'll look at it second, but we're going to look at some of the altered wheelbase stuff first. Then we're going to look at this other car. So here it shows some of the rear suspension and some of the other modifications they were doing to these altered wheelbase cars. I don't know if Steve Magnante says that a gasser is technically altered wheelbase. Technically, an altered wheelbase meant moving the rear axle forward for better weight distribution. So, but anyway, speaking of modified cars, anybody know anything about this? That looking familiar to anybody at all? I know I had to do a double take. Pete just says, what the heck is that? Kenny's guessing a Valiant. That's right, Randy knew it. The Chevy 2 Fastback. Doesn't say much about it. Fast and Furious will be this unique glass Chevy 2 Fastback. So obviously never anything that ever made it into production. Big Job remembered it being a Nova. This thing was packing a Z11 427 in it. First glance almost looked like a Marlin to me. But I remember seeing pictures of this in other magazines over the years, but I never really heard much about it. But yep, that's actually a Chevy 2. It says it was glass. I don't know if it was a full glass body or if just these modifications were glass. Randy says, yep, I'm that old. So asymmetricals, I think what they call them, they move the rear axle forward. I don't know what they call the actual geometry. It was just move it forward for better weight distribution. Number one has seen one. Now, the next article, like I said, we're ratcheting up the cool factor. That's right, go-kart with a big block. That's pretty much what it amounted to. Now, this next article is on a car called the Powder Keg. It's also a drag car. It is also a Mopar, packing Hemi power, of course, by one of the kings of Hemis. Now, does this look weird to anybody? We've got a little Barracuda with Hemi power, but look at this. It says number 43 on it. That was the Richard Petty drag car. Yes, Richard Petty went drag racing. When they banned the Hemi N65 from NASCAR, Petty went drag racing. NASCAR Grand Champion Richard Petty is spending his time between oval races in a Hemi-powered Barracuda, going fast as usual in a straight line. It's called Petty's Powder Keg. So, pretty interesting. Actually has some build pictures of it. But yeah, a lot of people didn't know. Scott on Facebook said King Richard. That's the best way to put it. But a lot of people aren't aware of the fact that Richard Petty did go drag racing in 1965. Okay, number one says that Nova was an entire glass roof and B and C pillars. You removed the metal skin and added those parts. Some of the structure was retained. So there was a way to cut part of the roof off, but leave some of the structure and put that fiberglass fastback on that Nova body. Thanks for clearing that up for us, number one. But yeah, the Richard Petty drag car, the 65 Barracuda with a Hemi in it. Only 1 year left. NASCAR had an injury accident and quit. 43, yep, that's right, 43 JR. And that's exactly what it says right there. It's got the little JR under it. That's a good way to put it. Number one, if there was a starting line, 2 vehicles, and a checkered flag, Petty was racing. That's about right. Ozark Fox said he think it wrecked it once. Yeah, I think that's what Randy was referring to as well. Zach's met him once. He said his shop is 45 minutes from Zach. And a whole bunch more on it, a bunch more build pictures. We definitely want to share those with you as well. Let you guys take this stuff in for a few minutes here. So, like I said, we're working up the cool factor, and we're just about there. We're getting into the really good stuff. And we just looked at Dick Landy's car, Richard Petty's drag car, stockers, super stockers, altered wheelbase cars, land speed Hemis. Means you know what's coming next. Front engine diggers. Oh, yeah. The quickest and the fastest A-Fuel car. If you're one of the lucky ones who's seen this A-Fuel dragster put down a number of the bigger inch AA fuel dragsters, then you know why the Frantic 4 cannot be denied its title, the quickest and the fastest A-Fueler in the country. Check this thing out. And if that wasn't good enough, Kevin says it's cool. Pete says it's cool. Believe it or not, it's going to get a lot cooler here in about a half a second. Because look at the next page. Boom. Check that out. How cool is that? If that's not a beautiful shot, I don't know what is. That 671 stacked on top of that 392 Hemi, that's just about as good as it gets. A lot of good positive comments to that. Pete's in love, so I think we're all in love with that picture. I think we all love to have one of those sitting in our garage. You just crawl in and just sit in that for a while. So, yeah. But wait, there's more. Yes, there's more. The next page, we're going to get into the big league Hemi. Even with a full body, the Stellings and Hampshire throttle wagon is decidedly on the lighter side. Ready to stamp out the competition, the S&H Stellings and Hampshire premium dragster would fill several books with construction details, just as it has filled several record books. This 1,450-pounder has hit a high of 196.06 and a 794 under the handling of Jeep Hampshire. Builder of the 57 Chrysler engine was Larry Stellings, other half of the S&H team, who works as a balancer for CT Automotive. Forged true pistons on a punched-over 392, knocked out to 398 cubic inches, pushing Mickey Thompson aluminum rods. Herbert's number 70 roller cam with Schleifer lifters works Donovan push rods and 2-inch valves against dual Herbert springs. Running only 6-to-1 compression on the nitro alky blend is reasonable with big boost from a 30% overdriven 671 with a Krager belt drive on an Edelbrock manifold. Atop the GM Supercharger is Hilborn's low-profile injector with 8 tuned nozzles. The spark arrives courtesy of a Schleifer mag, and the same outfit takes responsibility for getting the 1,000 rated horses out through their dual-drive clutch system. The Donovan drive joins the 323 Olds rear, narrowed to a 37-inch tread fitted with M&H wrapped American mags on a Kent, all packed into a Kent Fuller chassis of 1.25 .0492 with a 130-inch wheelbase covered by an alloy body, a product of Fuller and Arnie Roberts of San Francisco. Candy red metal flake by Joe Anderson. So, what do you think of that? And I read all that first. Time machine would be really handy right now, Tony. That's for sure. And this thing is stunning. Are you ready? Look at that. If that is not a beautiful front engine digger, I don't know what is. And look at the design where it kicks up, about how this is all wrapped in the body, all wrapped up in that alloy body. Oh, yeah. I told you this was going to get good. Whew. We're just have to sit here for a second and take this one in. That's right, Kevin. It is freaking awesome. That's about it. Not many other way to put it. That is a beautiful, beautiful car. We just kind of need a minute with it, I think. So, we're going to catch one more article, if we can handle it. Safety third. Yeah, you're sitting right on top of that bomb, that's for sure. It was the Edelbrock manifold is what it was. That's right, Kenny. Those guys were animals. There's no doubt about that. We're going to catch one more, and this will be the end of the color. Well, maybe the end. No, there's more color later. Whew. But the next one, and this is going to be the last one because I had to quit here because I couldn't take any more. It was too much cool at one time. I didn't get quite to the halfway point, but too much cool at one time. But this thing is also a stunning, stunning looking car. Now remember, this is 1965, also powered by a 57 Chrysler 392 punch 30 over. So it also would have been a 398 like the other car. 671 blower. And the crazy part about it was the build cost. Did the engine work himself, but estimates a total expenditure of a tall expenditure, big bucks, of $10,000 to build this car. Of the stunningly beautiful Starlight 3. Look at that. Once again, just an absolutely stunning front engine digger. And a few more pictures over here. And look at the interior of this thing. I don't know if there's classifieds in this one or not, Scott, or not, because didn't get to the back of this one. We'll check if there's going to be any next week. Yes, there will be classifieds next week, Scott, once we get to the back half of this. So anyway, that's all I've got for articles. I had to quit there. Cool was on overload. So what do you guys think? Was it worth the hype so far? We still got to go back and do ads, but yeah. Norma thinks so. Pete thinks so. That's right, Big Job. Roll down the highway on that with an open trailer, and that's what they did. Yeah, that's a good point, Randy. $10,000 to build when guys were making $250 an hour. Or like I think that's what Dad worked at the gas station for like $1 an hour. So glad you guys like it. A lot of good comments. Appreciate it. I hope I didn't oversell it. But when I got to this stuff, I just couldn't need somebody hauling. Some days it seems like I do, but not quite that much. But man, when you look at something like that, that's just wow. Joe needs a new career. Well, I only got like 40 to pick up, so that you'd get those done, and then we wouldn't have much to do after that. Better give you a Hudson badge. I think we all need a couple drinks after that. Richard loved the Mopars in there. And like I said, there's more to come. I saw the next article, and it was super cool. I was like, I got to quit. I can't take it. I don't know how much cool we can handle in one night because there's a whole bunch of cool in this magazine. And now we're going to get to the ads. And we're going to get even more cool. Because the ads are great in here, too. Starting off right inside the inside cover, the new package of instant action. The Oldsmobile 442. The 65 Cutlass 442, right in the inside cover. Yeah, and a lot of comments about the guys that drove those. That's right, John. It just feels like a sissy. Yeah, you jumped on top of that rear diff and put your legs right over the drive shaft or the transmission and put your feet right up against the back of the motor, and then you stood on the loud pedal, and away you went. So Bill said he had to stay for that. You got to jump off early start tomorrow. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad that you guys think it was as cool as I did. And remember, there's more in here to come next week. But anyway, let's keep flipping through some ads. And next, our staple ad for everything in the 60s in car magazines, J.C. Whitney. What's different about this one is it's still got the catalog order card in it. To get your free J.C. Whitney catalog. What do they have on sale this week? Play your own favorite music in your car wherever you go. Automatic record player and changer. Yes, you can order a record player for your car for $69.95 right here from J.C. Whitney in 1965. Yeah, 40% up to 40%. Prices slashed. Yep, up to 40% from previous catalogs. Another cool one, out of this world prices at Midwest with big discounts. From Midwest Auto Specialists, from factory to Midwest to you, buy the best from Midwest. They were based out of Cleveland, Midwest Auto Specialties. Midwest Auto Specialties, 13907 H Miles Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio. Cool mystery envelope items. There you go. And the next ad, this thing is great. You guys are really going to dig this one too. A full 2-page ad. The only forged wheel in the industry. Sound the trumpets or something. Hurst is out with the safest custom wheel ever made. Look at this ad. Full 2-page color ad. Obviously a GTO convertible in the bottom. Talking about the breakdown of the Hurst wheel, the beginning of aftermarket wheels really becoming mainstream. The Hurst wheel from the Hurst Corporation. I mean, 2-page ad, pretty big deal at that point in time. Zach's got to jump off. Glad you were here for a while. Another great ad. On the next page, there's a potent squelch to all those others who keep talking about lions, tigers, and such. A 350 horsepower squelch that goes into any 65 Chevelle you specify. It's that big blue-jowled 327 V8 of song and story, fortified with an extra helping of brute in the form of 11-to-1 compression, 4-barrel carb, dual exhaust, and 360 foot-pounds of torque with hydraulic lifters. On the new 350 horse Chevelle from Chevrolet in 65. John's got to bail off. That's all right. Glad you were here. And another good point, actually. That's another good thing, John, that I had not mentioned, and I've got that flyer. Arc City Dragway, Mid-America Dragway, April 14th and 15th is the swap meet in Arc City at the drag strip. Thanks for bringing that up, John, and remind me of that later on because I forgot to bring that up. I've got the flyer, but I haven't unloaded anything yet. So thanks for throwing that out there, John. Black and white, somewhat action shot of the 65 Chevelle. The next ad, and this thing's really good too. Something we'll definitely probably remember. Crower Imperial fully rollerized cam continues to set records for dragsters, oval racing, and super stocks from the Crower Cam Company. The next one, another full-page color, or full-page black and white ad, but a very basic ad with just a guy's fingers like this. True, you don't need M&H Racemaster tires to win drag races. There's always the chance you'll luck in. So cross your fingers for good luck if you don't have M&Hs. The next ad, this is a little bit different. It's a Harley ad. Latch on to a new lighthearted lightweight from Harley. The Scat, the ultimate in a trail machine. So a trail bike from Harley, or the Topper H, the two-wheeled excitement the entire family will take to. No shifting or clutching, has exclusive scoot away automatic transmission from Harley Davidson. $200 for the cufflinks. Yeah, no kidding. They're probably well worth that if you can find a set. And the next ad, completely off course from cars, but definitely a sign of the times ad that I think most people will remember. From the Columbia Record Club, any 9 for $4.95, also including its tear-out card for the Columbia Record Company. There's still probably some people out there still paying for this from 1965. Pete did that many times. Couple more ads, and then we're going to be wrapped up with this magazine for night, and then until we get into a new level of coolness next week. But this next ad is so great. Firestone tires. Big job. Just went last week into the Harley Museum and looked at every tank that was made on display there till now. Wow, that'd be kind of cool. New land speed record of 536.71 mile per hour set on Firestone, the greatest tire name in racing, with a picture of the Green Monster. The Art Arfons Green Monster rolling on Firestone tires to 536 miles an hour. Scott did that in the Super CDs in the 90s. So, yep, Columbia House went for a really long time. One more ad. Ford wins NASCAR Manufacturers Award of Excellence, the Alec Ullman Cup, the NHRA Manufacturers Cup, and the Top Design Award from the Industrial Designers Institute. Maybe they're trying to tell us something. And this literally has a little bit of everything. The Galaxy in NASCAR, the Cobra on the road course, the Thunderbolt on the track, and the Mustang for the showroom. So we got the full-size Galaxy running NASCAR. See a real Cobra on the road course, the iconic Thunderbolt, and then, of course, the Mustang, which kind of set the world on its ear at that point in time. Tony wiped out his back today, so stop in and say hello. Have a great week. Very sore going to bed. Glad you stopped by for a minute. Said hi, Tony. Definitely get some rest. Maybe be feeling better next week. All these things bring money. Of course, the basic Mustang Coupe still not so much. Thunderbolts, Cobras, and 427 Galaxies, all pretty high dollar and desirable cars today. So that does it. We're going to wrap it up with that for the magazine. Ozarks of 65 was a pretty good year. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff happening in 1965. And believe it or not, all that we just did was only in the first half of the February 1965 issue of Hot Rod with a cover price of 50 cents. So stay tuned. We got more cool stuff coming up next week even. What wheels are on the front of the Galaxy? It was an action shot, so I doubt we'll be able to tell. Looks just like black steel wheels. If we auctioned off Heather, then we wouldn't have somebody to hang out with us every night. And the Thunderbolt. The Thunderbolt were aftermarkets on the front. I'm not sure. Okay, Joe, I don't know where you're located at because most of the stuff I need picked up is right around here. So I don't know how far you are away from me, Joe. So, but we can all see what we can work out. Those are called dibs on Heather. So anyway, more to come next week if we can handle it, if we can take that much more cool. Glad you guys enjoyed it. Glad you guys thought it was cool as well. Raffle. Time for the new raffle. This pump plate is the new raffle piece for this week. Rico threw in another prize for probably the second or third that he wanted to donate. So that'll be going to somebody's name that's coming out of the big Buick oil can as well. And we'll definitely have a third prize. We will be pulling 3 names, obviously, this month. Original 60s era porcelain mobile regular pump plate is the main prize for the raffle. If you're not in, you've still got a little time. We're not going to give this one away until April 2nd, so we've still got a few weeks to go. But who's in as of now? And this is our first week. Norma is in. Mark Falcon, David W., Bill Disk, Eloy, Lee Carr, and Michael Glagola. All of those are in. I got Big Job's payment today. I saw that, Big Job, so we'll get you in the next batch. But Roger signed off. Glad you were here, Roger. Kenny dug the magazine as well. But everybody that I just read off is in as of now. That got in the first week. Norma, Mark Falcon, David W., Bill Disk, Eloy Ortega, Lee Carr, and Michael Glagola. So it's going to be a good raffle. I also picked up some more cool new raffle stuff this week in Wichita at the swap meet. So we have some good stuff lined up for that. And we're going to have some more fun raffles coming. What I pick up this week, I got a few things picked up this week prior to heading to Wichita. Probably not the cheapest 68 Chevy, but the second to cheapest 68 Chevy I think I've ever probably seen. I picked up a 68 Bel Air 4-door. And it's got a 307, and that's about it. Still has some of the original dog dish style caps on it. So 68 Bel Air 4-door we'll be bringing you a video on. And the next one was really cool. You guys are going to love this one. Unfortunately, I was a little disappointed. They told me about it, and then when they told me to come look at it, they're like, "Oh, we got it out and got it rinsed off for you. You can see it better." I'd have loved to have gotten a picture of it where it was at, because it had been in there for 25 years, tucked away in a little corner of a building. So he was trying to help me out. I'll get it out. I got it out, got it rinsed off for you. Oh, man, I wish I could get some pictures of it where it was sitting, but I bought it anyway on a 1941 Chevy truck. There's no bed on it, and it is a dually, but I think it's a pickup chassis because it has full-length running boards. So 1941 Chevy truck. This thing is super, super solid. I saw a few rust bubbles in, I think, the passenger door. But overall, this thing looks really pretty decent for a 41. Like I said, it's been inside for the last 20 to 25 years. It literally hadn't seen daylight in over 20 years. So we're definitely going to have some content coming on that as well. So got those picked up this week. What else is coming up for videos this week? Obviously, new inventory, some stuff from the salvage yard. Nope, don't have a giveaway truck. Not right now. So we'll have the stuff from some salvage yard stuff, some of my stuff, some new inventory stuff. And like I said, we'll see when I get down to Auburn Court, Duesenberg, and we're going to have some more stuff coming from there. Doug's got some cool stuff lined out to shoot down there as well. So anyway, I guess that pretty much wraps up what we've got. I'm pretty much through my worksheet, through my episode tonight. Episode number 155 is off the rails as that is. We'll give you another Hudson badge just for that. But as always, I appreciate you guys swinging by tonight, spending your entire Sunday evening with me. We've got to be able to assemble a safe and cool Chevy something out of the yard. But I do appreciate you guys spending your Sunday evening with me. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your participation in the auctions, the raffle, as well as your participation in the chat, because that's why this is a chat. That's why it is chat sitting here babbling into a computer, but your guys' comments are what makes this a chat. Your knowledge, you're willing to share your knowledge, your participation. That's what makes this thing what it is. So there we go here again with the Johnny Carson comments. I don't understand that, but I take it. I'll take it. I appreciate the compliment. Like I tell you guys, I work hard for you guys. I try to really put together a quality episode. That's why I do this every Saturday night. I got done about midnight Saturday night. I was at the swap meet a little after 7 yesterday morning, and I got done right about midnight last night with this. But there again, that's so I try to do a good job, and I'm glad you guys enjoy it. But I really do work hard trying to put out a quality product, and the fact that you guys enjoy it, you keep coming back, and you participate means a lot to me. I appreciate your participation in the auctions and all the good sportsmanship we have and all the fun we have. So perfect, John. We're good. That sounds great to me. And with that, we'll get ready to wrap up. We will have Toy Tuesday live. I've got toys everywhere. We got all the toys I got on the Missouri run. I got the one toy. But I got a lot of cool memorabilia at the Wichita Swap Meet that's going to get worked in. So several weeks of super cool Toy Tuesdays lined up already as of right now. So we'll definitely catch that 7 o'clock Tuesday evening live for some Toy Tuesday on YouTube. And then obviously some new content as far as new inventory and some salvage yard stuff coming up. And like I said, depending on when I get to Auburn Court Duesenberg, we will absolutely have some more Auburn Court Duesenberg material coming up because we love that place. There's some awesome stuff there. So you make nobody important. Well, I don't know if I make anybody important, but I try to help everybody be part of this, and that's what's important. Thanks, Randy. I appreciate that. So invite your friends over. Let's see if we can get a few more people on here, keep this thing moving along. And thank you guys for what you do and for being part of it. So we'll see how the week goes. I hope everybody has a good week. We will definitely do Toy Tuesday live. I'll get to work on some other content. I've got, holy cow, I don't know. I almost had everything shot as far as new inventory, and now I'm starting to slip behind again. Obviously, I've got the 68 Bel Air, the 41 Chevy truck, the 49 Ford car, I think a few others that we haven't shot. And there's already 6 or 8 videos of new inventory loaded that you guys haven't seen yet either. So it's a whole lot of new inventory to get up for you guys to check them out and see what we've got going on there as well. So anyway, looks like everybody's signing off, getting ready to get out of here and get to bed. And we will be ready to roll Tuesday night with Toy Tuesday. Thanks for being here tonight, everybody. Once again, your support, you keep coming back. That still amazes me. But you keep coming back and making this thing what it is. Thanks to all of you for doing that. I appreciate it. We'll see you Tuesday night. I hope everybody has a great week. I hope everybody has a productive week. And hopefully I get on the road down to Auburn Court Duesenberg and bring you guys some more cool stuff from there on top of everything else that we've got going on. Richard, can you let me know how much I owe you and how to pay? I do use PayPal. Yeah, Richard, PayPal is fine. But make sure it's friends and family. It's got to be friends and family. So PayPal is fine, Richard, on friends and family. And all I had you down for was that one plate, the 67 plate at $33, Richard. And make sure it's friends and family, and make sure that you put a note on there what it's for and your shipping information. Well, I'll have your name at least, and I can always reference my list. But you guys, please remember I ship 20 to 30 packages of eBay parts and other parts throughout the week as well. So PayPal is great, Richard. Just make sure it's friends and family. Make sure your shipping info is on there and what it's for. And if you want raffle entries or anything like that, make sure you tell me how much raffle entries with T-shirts, stickers, raffle, auction items. Just kind of break that down is what I tell everybody. So Dino Sausage says it just stopped in just for a second. Caught the end of us tonight. Big Job says, don't ship yet. Not a problem, Big Job. I'll just put it in a separate box. That's what I do for a lot of you guys. Like Alex, since he's coming to pick up his Hudson or his Packard next month, I got a box that says Alex right on it. And I pile all the stuff in that box. When Pete was getting ready to come get his Camaro, I piled all of Pete's stuff in there. And I can do the same thing. Big Job will just I'll get a box and put your stuff in that till you're ready to ship. So not a problem whatsoever. Appreciate everybody being here tonight. Thanks for hanging out with us. A couple more badges to wrap up the night with. John's going to finally be in that big Buick. Can't wait. So yeah, not a problem. Big Job. I'll work with you guys however you can. And sometimes I do have to combine shipping on some of this stuff just to save a few bucks on what we're doing here. So, sometimes it doesn't get shipped right away, and sometimes I try to combine some of that stuff. So, like some of you guys from last week, well, I'll combine this stuff for sure because on the payments I got after I was gone, since I left early for the swap meet. But anyway, with that, I hope everybody has a great week. I'm going to wrap up. See some of you Tuesday night. Hopefully a lot of you swing by 7 o'clock Tuesday. We got a lot of cool toys to check out. But if not, we sure hope to see you back here. Same bat time, same bat station, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, the Nobody Show channel on YouTube or the Nobody Else's Auto page on Facebook for Sunday Night Live Chat. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope to see you next week.